It ended. Ooh, what's this one? I'm not sure what kind of Muppet dancing that counts as, but yeah. Good timing. Wasn't it, Nixie Geek? Brilliant. Music of suspenseness. It's true. Oh, the Rion Pyros. Thank you very much. This is a good one. What is this one? It's the Snap the Vex guy again. It's like how to get whiplash. You saw I got the little avatars going again today. Boy, it's busy, huh? All right. I just don't want to stop this song. It's so good. Oh, it's almost finished. Okay. We'll wrap it up after this one. Woo! All right. Beautiful. Beautiful music. That is just a great song. So it's Nefx, and it's like one of these YouTube songs that they're like copyright free or whatever it is. Not interested in monthly subscription? Then please consider a one-time donation to David's Tech Bandit. Ooh, I forgot about Nightbot. Nightbot's. I got to do a Nightbot for the coin now. And like a coin Nightbot. Now I have to excuse myself because I'm drinking a very lovely, sweet glass of ginger beer. Really nice, really nice. I mean, it's non-alcoholic, but it's just sugar and ginger and deliciousness. So I'll probably sneeze a lot. And I also just ate a giant falafel dinner. So I'll also be burping the entire time as well. So it'll be a lovely stream. Speaking of horror, I am the Hewlett. I am the horror of Hewletts. I am the Hewlett horror. Or as my son says, Dad, are you really the normal one in the family? I've got to say that was a surprise to me too. Okay, so I guess I'm the only one who's forgotten everything about the little avatars. I like them all dancing at the same time. It's very cute. We need like a bigger screen or smaller avatars. Can I make them smaller somehow? Is there a way to allow more of them on there? Jesus, look at that! It's a sea of them. I wonder if I should move the chat on top of it, though. Is the chat better there? Is it easier to read? Not much, is it? Wow. Look at that mess. So we've got, it looks like, I think the anime is, what is the anime? The anime is like, what is it called? Like, I know this one. What is the anime character? God, I wish I could remember the name. It was one of the ones that, is it? I can't remember. It was one of the ones that Baz made me watch. Parasite or something. I'm not sure it was Parasite. It was what was it called? Where the guy's like half human and half something else. The air's horrible today, Melissa. I am sucking back on my inhaler like it's a scuba gear. Like it's crazy. David, you jinxed me for getting sick on Harry Potter. I'm currently sitting in the child switch area while Fluffy rides. It never bothered me before. I'm telling you, Elizabeth with a Z, it's, you know what it is? First off, have a wonderful vacation. Secondly, the reason why it's so bad is because it's a screen. It's a screen. And the screen just makes it, for some reason, makes it much, much worse than I can be flung around on rides and stuff all I want. I'm usually fine with that. But when you throw a video screen in the mix, whoa, look out. It's Technicolor yawn time. Not in the UK anymore, back home, and finally able to get here on time more or less. Oh, great, Sarah. And fantastic. It turns you upside down. Yeah, that doesn't help. That does not help. Yeah, the air is terrible. Was a bit nervous with you out of the blue asking for details, but it all worked out. Can't be too careful. Oh, yeah, it's a random Magic Man. I offered him a coin on Discord, and I get this very, like, hello, it's Randy the Magic Man, or should I say cybersecurity expert, calling to make sure that, in fact, that was you offering me a free coin. I guess it does seem weird if someone says, like, free coin. I don't think I said free coin, but I think I just said I'd like to send you a coin. Because, of course, Randy the Magic Man is our escape room genius and magic man. So I just thought, we got to get him a coin. You know, the funniest one was Cal. Because Cal, I could not persuade Cal. I was like, Cal, just give me your address. She's like, no, I don't want to give you my address. I'm like, Cal, I'm sending you a coin. Just give me your damn address. And she goes, well, no, I don't want to give you my address because I don't want you to send me some coin just so you could say how great you are for sending free coins and stuff. I was like, oh my God. Okay, then I'm going to have to scroll through all of my old messages looking for the last time she sent me the under duress, sent me her address. So I think I'm just going to tell everyone that Cal was bothering me so much about having a coin because she's such a huge fan that, yeah, I had to block her. Yeah. So anyways, Cal's here. Hey, Cal, how you doing? I was just talking about Randy the Magic Man. We love you, Cal. It's true. Come on, somebody cue the Cal. Somebody cue the bot. There's a bot out there that's going to get me to speak my love to Cal. And she loves this. I think she records it every time I do it. That's what I think. There is nothing on a hot, humid, miserable Toronto day like a ice-cold ginger beer. I don't have one anymore because all the ice melted, but still, it's fairly cold. Oh, delicious. We got to talk horror. I mean, I know not everyone is into horror films, but it's weird because horror and suspense, I find, tend to go together. And then there's even some action stuff that has horror in as well. But I am... Sarah Owen, thank you very much. I am... well, here's the funny thing about the ginger beer. Rion Pyros. Rion Pyros. Or the Rion Pyros. I don't really have a brand. I do like the Fever Tree, but it's just too freaking expensive. It's just ridiculous. I'm not working. I can't afford this fancy Fever Tree. I leave those are the Jason Momoa type ginger beers. Actually, Jason Momoa ginger beers would be very alcoholic. They would be all alcohol and a tiny bit of ginger. That's the way he likes his drinks. I being wimpy, I like my non-alcoholic stuff. So this is my attempt at trying to have a grown-up drink without having a grown-up drink these days. So yeah, so I do like the Fever Tree, but it's kind of expensive. So what I'm doing is my wife ordered some very cheap, sweet 2-liter bottles of this ginger beer stuff, which is delicious, but is probably going to kill me. So I drink the 2 of those. Once those are finished, I'm using the 2-liter plastic jugs as to ferment a little bit of my own ginger beer. That's right. I'm making my own ginger beer. I'm going to get a little bit of this stuff called champagne yeast. It's called, apparently. I think that makes it, I'm assuming that just makes it like little tiny bubbles. And the idea is you get it to ferment just a little bit. Not too much so it gets all alcoholic-y. It doesn't get too Momoa. And then it has that wonderful ginger beer taste without all the hassles of that. Good Lord, it's so hot that the condensation around my glass is dripping in my lap. It's lovely. It looks like I've wet myself. can of Guinness with a sprig of ginger next to it. Yes, that's more the Momoa way. Yeah, Hewlett's Hoppery. I like that. My son brewed ginger beer for my husband for his birthday. Probably not Momoa levels of alcohol, I guess, but there was some for sure. Yeah, I mean, my dad used to make ginger beer all the time, and we would go. In the middle of the night, you'd hear what sounded like a mob shooting with like things blast. Sounded like gunshots going off. It turns out it was all these bottles that my father had carefully bottle capped with his bottle cap machine. He had like a hand thing that would just go, and it would stamp on a bottle cap and seal these things. And then one night he had them all on their side in a big container in a big cabinet. And one or two of them went, and the rest of them all went. And it was like for years there were sticky patches on that floor because of the ginger beer. I never liked his ginger beer because I was too young. Cal, of course, just a note that stream cord alerts don't seem to work anymore in Discord on the go. Oh, okay. I missed a tier 3 sub. I don't know what that means. What's a tier 3 sub? Okay, wait a second. Captain Catherine, thank you very much for whatever a tier 3 sub is. Is that like a triple decker sandwich? Is that like with the meat and the cheese and the lettuce like 3 times with extra bread in it? Because those are my favorite sandwiches. Thank you, Captain Catherine, for doing my favorite sandwich. Okay. Mom used to make wine. Yeah, my grandpa used to make wine. My grandpa used to make elderflower wine and dandelion wine as well. Grandpa. Miss my grandpa. Joe Flanagan has some stories to share during his recent talk with Connor on the Shuttle Pod show. And Jason Momoa certainly partied hard from the sound of it. Oh, yeah. No, Jason and Joe it was JoJo and Momo and JoJo. And they were inseparable, hung out all the time. All the time. Tier 3 is a lot more money in your pocket. Really, Cal? Sweet. Well, thank you. That's great. Do we do something special for tier 3 other than just love them more? I love them as much as those triple deck sandwiches. Oh my god, I've turned into like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I'm like, sandwiches. Okay, I would love a 3-tiered sandwich. Yeah, wouldn't you? That's what I should give out to people who sign up for the 3rd tier. Is I should just have like a giant Hewlett hoagie sandwich of some sort. That's like 3 levels. Now I'm hungry. How can I be hungry? I just ate a giant falafel plate. I don't know how to say falafel. Apparently, people laugh at me when I say it because apparently I say it weird. I say falafel weird and I say futon weird, apparently, and yogurt. I say things weird. I have my own accent. I have a Hewlett accent. Oh my god, there's so many little people in the avatars that I feel like I'm trying to talk over all of the little names. I have to go. Tier 3's $25? Holy Captain Catherine. Man, I will next time I see you, I'll make you a 3-tiered sandwich. Okay, you can serve it with homemade Hewlett ginger beer. That's right. Oh my god, I'm starting a diner. That's it. People pick on me about saying orange. Orange? Am I saying orange? Or garage is another one that people get weirded out about. Yeah, the avatars are back, Captain Catherine. Yeah, people are throwing big bucks at me like you, Captain Catherine. So I'm bringing out. Holy cow, that's a lot of avatars. This not. Oh my god, it's like a Tokyo subway here. Like this is insane. Although it's getting close to Toronto subway too. Toronto subway's getting pretty busy as well. I'm in the market for an electric assist bike. And because we don't have a car, my favorite bicycle that I got given by my son at 4 years old and my wife when I was 40, my favorite bicycle got stolen at the beginning of the pandemic. And I've never replaced it. And I know that an e-assist bike is a lot more expensive, so I got to talk to Jane about it. But I thought maybe I should get a bike so that I can maybe not take the subway as much and get a little bit of fitness in there. I know that's a dirty word for me in these days, but so I'm looking at these e-assist bikes, and I there are so many options out there. They're all so expensive. I'm really nervous. I don't know which one to get. And I'll probably have to wait till the next job shows up anyways, because it's just freaking, it's a wasteland right now. Like it is. People are freaking out. The film industry's dying. The sky is falling. It's time to pivot. You're bringing back the burn and learns. Oh, I shouldn't I? James R. Gurney. Oh, I've got a good recommendation for e-bikes. Oh, do you? Of course you do, James. What have you got? What do you like? I trust James's opinion on these things. because he burns our friends' houses down and then steals their users, audience. Um, yeah, I just don't need it. Well, it's not true. I do need a bike. I do need a car because the reality is, I I feel like I feel like it's restricting what we can do and how we can help Baz out and how we can help my parents out. So I am a little concerned that we should probably consider a car sometime soon. But I don't know. It has to be electric because Jane won't let me buy anything else. Um, I would rather it was a flying car. Speaking of which, how's that for a segue? eVTOLs or whatever they're called. These electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. Am I geeking out about that stuff. Like, it is really, really cool what's happening here. And they're talking about trying to kill this $49 billion helicopter industry that's out there. And I put a few in the email of awesomeness out there. A few, just a few of them. There's actually a lot of them. I may actually just like have to start like an eVTOL. I don't even know how to say it. Don't cry for... No, that's Argentina. It's not Evita, is it? Don't Cry for Me, Evita would be a whole different musical. Yeah, I'm really taken with these things. There's a couple of very, very cool ones that I saw, and that I posted in the email because I love these basically boat ship things. Yeah, it's like I should call it a boat ship. It's like a gate ship. They just zip along the water. So if you're going at a regular speed and you're like just a nice fast boat, then you get a little faster and it goes hydrofoil and it goes up the fins in the water and you're like floating above. And then if you go a little faster again, you get into this. I can't remember what the term's called, but fantastic. I spent a lot of time looking it up because I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And it was it basically becomes a low flying plane, and it's using this technology it's using this effect. It's like a ground field effect or something like that. Let me pull up the email and check my notes. Let me check my notes. Ground effect, yes. So basically, your drag is reduced at these low, like literally, it's sort of a multiple or a portion of how wide the wings are. And so, if the wings are, let's say, 6 feet, at six down to 0, you get this wonderful ground effect, which basically reduces the drag around the wings, and this thing just soars. And it's just, what a way to get around. How freaking cool would that be? Like floating along the water. I thought, we've got this horrible Don River here that I keep saying to my wife, I gotta get a boat for the Don River. It's like, it looks like a sewage outflow. It just looks horrible. And it goes up and down depending on how much water. I mean, we'll probably get they're talking about some kind of a storm coming on. Not another tree. Oh, God, we're going to have another tree go down. We got another storm coming in today. One of the things I missed when I moved to LA was the Toronto thunder and lightning storms because, man, I love them. Of course, the last one we had knocked down a tree and took out our power for 2 days. But, I just I love the rain. When you're inside, it's all cozy. And the rain's crashing down and trees aren't. And the lightning goes. And we finally have a dog that's not scared of it. Mars was terrified. I just had to mention the word thunder. And he was shivering and shaking and running around. Oh, God, that poor dog was so terrified of it. The Mutt Princess, who is in my bad books right now. I have no love for the Mutt Princess right now, because she's been using my basement as a toilet. I know she was probably desperate or whatever, or unwell. I don't care. I don't like sharing my basement with a cat litter for dogs, even though my dog is running cat software. Do I live in Warwickshire once? Did you live in Warwickshire once? Howl Sunrider 666. Did we ever live in Warwickshire? Yes, we did. And we're going to again. In fact, the plan is, I believe, as it stands right now, is that Jane and I, when Baz goes to university, which it sounds like he's going to do because he just did crazy well on his exams and stuff. He got like 90s on his math exam. I'm like, who are you? Not my child. I want a blood test. So the hope is he's going to be going to university. And when he does, we're thinking about moving back to Warwickshire to Jane's dad's old place because, since he died, it's just been either rented out to tenants, or my mom was there for a while. My mom, how weird is that? My mom in my father-in-law's house. Anyways, and I feel like probably it's the best place for a pig and a tractor and for me to blow things up without getting into trouble. So it just seems like a great place for me to do all of my stuff. And it's close to London for Jane, so she can basically go off and have a real life, and I'll just hang out with pigs and tractors and stuff. So I'm going to send Oxford that going to... I don't think he's going to... excuse me. I don't think he's going to Oxford. Yeah, the other thing I've got to add to my list of apologies is not only am I gaseous because of my drinks and lunches, I'm also screwed right now with asthma. Like, I am sucking my inhaler and it's just killing my voice. And yeah, so if I yeah, good for blowing things up. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I need to like retire in a kind of a Colin Furze way. You know, that guy who builds tunnels under his house and giant, jet powered scooters and things. Maybe I should build my own electric car. No, because if I build my own electric car, then no one is coming with me. My wife is never getting in a car that I have built. Death traps, exactly. Right. It is a nice place to live. I hope so. I mean, I've got to say, not to get political, but Brexit was a nightmare. Like it was such a disappointment to me that England would distance itself from the rest of the EU, and I just feel like it was just a terrible decision, and I at a time when we should be banding together. I mean, I'm not going to blame them for Ukraine, but the reality is, I think seeing the EU arguing about things like Britain, I'm sure emboldened people when it came to invasions and stuff. And that is purely my own. Like, that's not literally, that's just off the top of my head. So please don't. It's not news or anything. I will say, from a news standpoint, one of our lovely family friends is Maria. Maria is from Ukraine, and I was reminded again today that not that I didn't know it, but that that war is still going. I mean, that is a horrible situation. Putin just bombed Kyiv. I think it was either last night or yesterday, and I mean, like, these are cities like it's like bombing a city like Toronto or something. I mean, it's just freaking horrendous. So I just don't want us to forget. It's very easy, I find, for the news to sort of bump things down because it's like, people heard a lot about Ukraine. Well, you know what? We haven't heard enough about Ukraine because it's still a freaking disaster. And we got to figure that out because it's just, it's shocking. All right. I actually prefer pre-EU because it meant I got more stamps on my passport. Yeah, it's fun, wasn't it, Coron Horn? I'll tell you what I loved about, Brexit was I just thought, you know what? I would go and stay with my father-in-law in England with Baz and Jane, and I would just pop off and do like a little movie in Bucharest or whatever. I mean, it was fantastic that way. And I don't know. I feel like we should be banding together, not tearing ourselves apart. And anyways, yeah. Was it Kyiv that got badly droned last night? I mean, this is it. It's just freaking shocking. All right, what else have I missed? I heard a couple of ringle dingles here. David, your chainmail pieces are coming along nicely. Learned some new weaves. Oh, thank you very much. Mandy is working on some chainmail for me, which is freaking awesome. And maybe at some point, Mandy, we should talk about that because who knows? Maybe there's something we could. If this movie goes that I did a preview thing for, maybe there's a way we can get you in on production on that because that could be very, very cool. All right, what do we got? Anything else? Anything else in here that I need to address? Cal, we love you. Just throw that out there. Cal, who's getting a coin even though she doesn't want one. She wouldn't. She's like, I'm not giving you my phone number. I'm like, I'm not gonna call you. I just need your phone number for the. She's like, well, I'll give you my phone number, but if you can't put it on the package. It's like, I don't know if it goes on the package or not. It's all like I have to print label. I don't know what's gonna be on there. I put my own phone number on. Yeah. Just so you know, Cal trying not to be a pain in the ass. It's just such a pain in the ass. Did I say Cal? Sorry, Cal. Is Cal here? Yes. We want Rodney back. Yeah, you and me both. The coins. Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you. I can't believe people are buying those coins. Like it's just. I've had so much fun with it. So I've got the little. Have you seen this? Can I do this? Is it going to go far enough if I tilt it this way? See that little blue thing right there? That is a SaintSmart 3018, and that is what I've been using to etch numbers on coins one by one. Where are they? Here you go. One by one. I have to put the coin into the machine. And I've got a little system where I've got little ink marks and stuff, right? So I put it in the right place and I crank it down, and then I get it to print out numbers on it. So it etches these numbers onto it. And some of them are in the wrong place, like these ones. But I got to the point where I was like trying to get it perfect. And I was like, you know what? There's a certain charm to them all being in slightly different positions. As long as you can read the number and as long as you have an official document that says, which you do, a signed document that says it's an official coin. And of course, they're still not mailed out yet because I'm still trying to figure out all the mailing stuff. But they are going to be far cooler than they were even when people bought them. So what the heck is going on here? What did I just walk into? Yeah, no kidding, Wormhole 42. Having it in the wrong place adds value. Exactly, Nixie Geek. Because at one point I had the Dremel out and I was gonna just do it by hand. I was literally just gonna do each one by hand. And then I thought, this is ridiculous. You're a freaking Stargate genius. Get your ass out and figure out that freaking CNC. So I spent ages trying to coerce this little thing into doing what it was told. It wasn't the actual SaintSmart. It was the software I was using. There was some issues. There was just some issues where it was just getting the wrong measurements somewhere in there. It would suddenly decide to rehome and like, so this like this metal bit would suddenly go and start tearing through coins and stuff. And it was so much fun though. I had a lot of fun with it. All right. Coins. What? Oh, try singular. Oh, does that work? Oh, who did that? What? Who did that? This is great. Eager to be the owner of the coolest, shiniest, and superbly designed coin ever? Well, then wait no longer and get your own at Tech Bandit's Genius, Stargate-inspired, designed by a Stargate genius. Disclaimer, Tech Bandits is not responsible for any adverse effects experienced by being overwhelmingly awesome after purchasing one or more of these. That's fantastic. Who wrote that? Was that James or was that Cal? That seems too happy for Cal. I can't see Cal doing that. That's just, My father finally got a laser engraver, and he's made some neat boxes that you can assemble. Ooh. I have a laser that I could put on mine, but it's very low powered. And I don't think it's going to be worth the hassle. It's also the reason why I have, I don't know if you can see it, but behind me there's a fire extinguisher because my wife insisted that I have a fire extinguisher down here because of me. For all those who don't know, there is a Stargate in the works. Hasn't started yet, but contract discussions ongoing. Devil Arrow, where did you get this from? Where do you get this from? Because I want to know what's going on with Stargate, and I don't know. But lasers. I know lasers. I want lasers. Damn right. Again, I've got to... whatever. I was talking to my wife about like how we could pivot. Like, how do you pivot in this industry? How do you get old and irrelevant, and you have to pivot into something else, right? And I thought, like, could we start the thing that we suffer with the most, Jane and I, other than Jane having to put up with me, is that is accounting and taxes. Ever since I have been earning money, I've been earning my living, God, since I was like around 16 now. Maybe not a living at 16, but I started acting professionally when I was 16 and had been making movies with friends before that. But and ever since I started earning money, oh God, no, I had jobs before that. I probably didn't pay tax back then because I was too young. But anyways, from 16 on, I remember that painful time of year when you're like, I don't understand. Why do you want to take my money? You didn't do anything. So for some reason, like, I love knowing about stuff. Obviously, I'm a total nerd. Anything I can learn, I'm up for it. Um, but accounting and running and business stuff is just so. I'm actually thinking about taking a course in business accounting because I just want to understand it. Even if I never do it, I just want to understand it. And then I started going like, you know what? From a business perspective, I think it would be really smart to have just a film business accounting and tax company that just helped companies because it's a very specific thing and people don't know, even accountants don't know what you can write off and what you can't write off as like an actor or a writer, as a director, as a producer, all this kind of stuff. And I feel like there's a pain point there that needs to be solved because we're constantly looking for good accounting help. I think we have it now, but I was like, Jane, why don't we just hire accountants to do other production stuff as well now that we figured it out? Because it is such a specialized thing. Even just how do you do accounting and tax as an artist of some sort? Like I'm not an artist, I'm an actor, but some people would call acting an art, but I wouldn't. I would call it lying for a living. But how do you what can you write off? What can you not write off? How do you do your books? All that kind of stuff. So anyways, every creative course at college level that results in being self-employment should include an accounts module. I agree, Rob. Absolutely. Register a business and all your toys can be write-offs, assuming you have taxable revenue to apply it against. Yeah, Mark Lapointe. Funnily enough, so I have a company called Canardian, which when you get your coins delivered from my company, it's from Canardian. It's also top secret from the desk of Dr. Rodney McKay. I made this for fan mail way back when. And so whenever I responded to a letter fan mail, I'd stamp it with this thing. I don't really do a lot of fan mail anymore because I feel like I'm online enough. The time I spent that I would have spent writing individually to people, I feel like I can talk to people individually here, and I feel the time is somehow more democratically spent with you here. So yes, there is Black Metal Werewolf. That's a cool name. It's a very niche market. I'm sure there is a need out there. I think there might be. I really do think there might be. So yeah, anyways, I don't know about Canada, but I can help you when you get back in the UK as I work for Her Majesty's Royal something as a tax advisor. Oh, Mandy. Well, there you go. Because one of our issues, Mandy, is that the other thing that a lot of film and TV people have is they have multiple countries, right? So they're Canadians, they work in the States. They're Americans, they work in Canada, or they work in England, or or the British work in Europe, or they work in Canada, or whatever. So there's many tax treaties, and you almost need an accountant for each country to help cover that stuff. So who knows? Who knows, Mandy? Maybe we'll be in business together before you know it. The stamp is brilliant, isn't it, Nixie Geek? I'm a genius. What can I say? You should pay for Twitch Partner. I'm sure they would give it to you with your pre-existing fan base. You know what's funny, Corin, is that I applied a number of times to this whole partner thing on Twitch. I got turned down every single time, despite the fact that I'd hit every single one of their things. I don't know what the deal is. What do they want from me? So I think the problem is that I stream once a week and they want me to stream more. And it's a treadmill that I think we have to be careful about because you've got people going out and going live and streaming for hours and hours and hours. And the moment they take a day off, it's like they get penalized for that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I lost 800 followers because I didn't stream for 2 days or something. And I just feel like that is a treadmill to watch out for. So I would love to reach to a point where they don't have an option. They have to make me a partner because I think there's a better share of donations. I think at that point, I don't know. But anyways, I've just found my little group. We're like 75 people. That's like it's around 75. Sometimes sometimes people get excited about something and it all goes up to like 100 or whatever. But it's basically around there. And then I archive them on YouTube so people can see them. And it's entirely for me. I just freaking enjoy it. I literally, it's addictive. It's addictive to me because I feel like if I don't stream, I've now got to this point, if I don't stream once a week and if I don't do my email of awesomeness once a week, I am a lost soul. I'm like a little sheep lost in the mountains. if I haven't done that, because I miss it. I love it. I couldn't do. I just could not get it together to get an email of awesomeness out last week, and because we had like a tree took the power down, and then it was the end of the year for Baz, and it was the beginning of the summer, so there was some family stuff, and there was some work stuff, and there were like a lot of coins. Can I just say, a lot of coins? I did not think for a second I was going to get through the remaining 175 of these things, but they are freaking flying off the shelves, and I've got to get way better at getting these things out. So yeah. Anyway, so there was a lot of stuff going on, and I did get around to it. So I said to Jane this morning, I was like, I love writing my little email of awesomeness. I am not a writer. I write when I have to. There's a script that Jane and I are working on, which is actually a horror film, I should say. But yeah, I just don't have the focus for writing that I need. But for some reason, once a week, I just get great joy out of just jotting down a bunch of ideas and cool tech that I found inspiring or enlightening or exciting or whatever. So there's a few. Thank you, Captain Catherine. They always make me smile. See, then you know what, Captain Catherine? Thank you. Not just for that triple tier sandwich of love that you gave in the form of tier 3 subscription, but also for that. Because the reality is, everything I do in that email, I try to think, did that make me smile? Like, the little images I do, I was like, did that make me smile because it's, or whatever. Like, I mean, or did it make me smile because it's just stupidly cute or whatever? Yeah, that's great. Good. I did. Then I feel like I've accomplished something. That's good. I thank you. Look, it's very nice of you to say it's well written. I know, as I said to Jane, I said, I feel, I can almost feel my grammar teacher, my English teacher roll. He's probably not dead yet, but if he is dead, he's rolling in his grave. And if not, he's just terribly, terribly disappointed. So anyways. That's very true, Randy the Magic Man. You create for yourself and you'll find like-minded people. That's very true. Very true. I get so much joy from the email of Austin Austin. It makes me smile every time. Oh, thank you, Mandy. That's great. Good. We all need to do more of that. Bring joy. Exactly. Okay. Can someone link me up the sign up for the email? Actually, if you just go, Corin Horn, if you just go to techbandits.org, I suppose I could I not just do that? Let me see. Hello, little laptop. Please come to wake so that I may, what the heck am I doing? What is this? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I can put that in here. Someone will have done it by the time I've done this. It's techbandits.org. Here you go. HTTPS blah techbandits.org. There you go. That will sign you up for the email of awesomeness, which is free, by the way. That's not a money thing. You know what is a money thing? Coins. So if you like the email of awesomeness and you fancy a coin that has its own unique number and a signed letter of authenticity, then definitely pick up one of those as well. Are you going out for any new roles at all? There's been a few, but there's not. I went in for a few things before the strike, and it seemed they were going quite well until the strike happened. So they've all sort of been canned for the time being, or shelved for the time being. So who knows what'll happen there. It's a very weird time for this industry, because the reality is the film industry isn't run by filmmakers or by producers or studios anymore. It is run by corporations that don't look at box office and don't read scripts and don't go to parties and film festivals and Oscars and things. They just look at the bottom line. And look, I understand I'm as much of a capitalist as everyone else. Look, with my coins, I'm a capitalist coin minter. But I think what people are worried about is that means that film is not being made to make people happy, to make cool films. It is made to make money. And if it doesn't make money, then we're done. And I feel that there's been so much competition for our eyeballs and our attention with social media and YouTube and all the different streaming services and stuff that we don't have the same impact in the world as we did when I started this industry. Like film and TV Man, that was it. I mean, that was, you know, even sports paled in comparison to Hollywood. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in a glory days kind of way, because you know, I things have changed, and I have changed with them. I really, you know, I'm an early adopter guy. I'm a nerd. I love the internet. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like I love this stuff, and I love the potential for this stuff. Um, but what do you do when it's no longer top of mind for people? What do you do when people spend more time on TikTok and TikTok doesn't cost TikTok anything to make other than running their platform? Like TikTok sets up a platform, all of that content is created for free. You know, Google's a perfect example. Google had Google Red, and they were hiring these people to do these fancy shows and stuff. And then suddenly they went, "What are we doing? Like, they make it for free for us on their channels, anyways. Why are we, you know?" And my concern is that what happens when Disney goes, "Wait a second, we got all these Marvel things. We're spending a lot of money on these Marvel movies. Why don't we just like start a social platform where people can just dress up as Marvel and do their own stuff?" And you're like, "Uh-oh." You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to give them ideas or anything, but the reality is, if you're just looking at the bottom line, not looking at it as an entertainment industry, then of course, you're gonna be drawn to these technologies that allow you to make stuff, that allow you to suck up those eyeballs without spending a fortune making that content, right? You know what I mean? And so, as someone who enjoys, I am a film guy. I love film. I am, you know, even television, I struggle with at times, because I'm like, I don't want an ongoing story. I don't want a story that never ends. Although a never-ending story. You know, I don't want a series, because I feel like a series makes me always feel like I'm in the middle of a story, not at the beginning or the end of a story. So every night I crave a movie. I go on to, you know, Shudder or whatever, and I watch some horrific horror movie or some fantastic, weird foreign action movie or thriller or something, and because I just, even if it's bad, I just like I like the little self-contained event that is the story that you get out of a film. You know what I mean? I like the short run series for sure. Although even those, sometimes I feel like I either feel like I leave wanting more, or I feel like there's been padding and it just should have been a movie or whatever. But so that's where I'm at right now. My concern, and I think other people's concern with the film industry and the strike that's on right now, is that, you know, these big corporations are I would argue, not treating the industry like it was back in the, you know, in the glory days of filmmaking, you know, in the the 60s, the 70s, I mean, to some extent the 50s, I suppose. You know, we're not being treated. They don't want to pay the big bucks anymore. Partially because, what do you do? I mean, I don't think there's the same audiences, and I don't think movies make the same kind of money they used to make, or television for that matter. They don't get the same amount of people. I like dust sci-fi short films. Yeah, I've watched a few of those Invisible Dimensions. They're really fun. Maybe that's the future. Maybe short films are the way to go. My son only watches 5-minute movies anyways. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, maybe that's the way we're headed. Bang, dang it, gotta go. Oh, wormhole. All right. Get out of here. Get out of here, wormhole. You do what you need to do, but we'll miss you. Thanks for coming by. I totally forgot I had a customer appointment. They showed up a few minutes ago, banged up my door right when I had jumped up on the screen. Oh, no. All right. Well, go satisfy your customers. All right. Magnet OS has followed. Ooh, that sounds cool. Magnet OS. That sounds very important. All right. Talent triangle has certainly shifted in the last 50 years. There used to be a lot of talent and only a few producers, and now everyone's a producer. Well, I mean, go to LA, Randy. That's every single person you meet is producing something or another. Pacific Dragon. Thank you so much for subscribing. Today's supposed to take millions. It takes years and millions to create, are often trumped by spectacle that's captured on camera in parking lot for free. Yeah, it's trumped by spectacle. Yeah, that's so true. Lanubaya. Is that how you say it? It's a great name. Thank you very much. Another subscription there. Stuff? What stuff? What? Wormhole stuff? What? Did Cal put all this stuff on here? I have to watch the recap on YouTube. What do you mean stuff? No, I stuffed that. Cal, what do you think? Cal's not the only one around here, Mr. Wormhole. No, this is God, that sounds like an insult now, doesn't it? This is avatars, which I long ago put on our channel, and had just sort of entirely forgotten about it. And then every so often you just sort of blow stuff up. Can I blow stuff up? Can I do that? I think I can. Let's see if I go here. How did I do it? I can't remember how I did it last time. Dang it. Dang it. Is that how am I running it? I don't even remember anymore. Good Lord. It's been so long. I have no idea how to do this. I think, oh yeah, there you go. There you go. So if I do this, I think you can go like this. And then it'll blow up. Woohoo! Yeah! Do, 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 do. And what's great is everybody comes back happy. And not in pieces. See? Man, I'm having fun with that. Okay. Well, that didn't distract me at all. Woot, 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 says Dixie Geek, and I am with her. Jack Jasra. How are you, Jack Jasra? Did I miss you? Did I miss you coming in? I like how they are running all over your face. I know. Like, I feel like I gotta... Do I have to, like... I'm gonna have to, like, sort of raise myself up a little bit. Or sink among them. I could be an avatar, too. All right, let me get some Weebles Wobble. They don't fall down. No, they just blow up. They just blowed up real good. Okay, I'm going to my email of awesomeness to talk about a few things. All right, so first off, let's talk horror. Let's talk horror, my friends. So I am a judge at the Fantasia Film Festival this year. I am freaking so excited about it because this is like my favorite film. It's like I don't go to any other film festivals. Like Jane's like all about TIFF and Berlin and everything. I'm like whatever. I like the Fantasia Film Festival because I can wear shorts and an ugly t-shirt and I could go and hang out with fellow nerds and talk about movies. And I line up. I see a lineup outside. I run outside. I go, what's the movie? And they go, oh, it's this. It's really good. And I go, okay, great. And I stand in line with my fellow nerds to watch the movie. And I hear them talking about other movies and I write them down and I go online and I book tickets for those. And it's just so much freaking fun. And I can only imagine how cool it's going to be as a judge. And then there's a market that's attached to it where you sell movies and Jane's going to be working her magic there. We're going to co-direct another movie. It's been, man, how long ago was Dog's Breakfast? But we're going to co-direct. It's actually a horror movie. I talked her into a horror movie. I can't believe it. But, cause Jane is not a horror fan, but she's like, I don't want any stupid monsters at the end. I was like, okay, fine. So basically she'll direct it and I'll play with the cameras. And the idea is to just we want to do a really tiny budget, fun, in a horrible way, kind of entomological eco horror thing. And it's just, I'm loving it because of course it's just nice to actually have to be forced to sit down and talk with Jane because Jane is so freaking busy now. I feel like I got to make an appointment just to see my own wife now. So that's the plan. So my mission before I go is I have to have a 1-page done. And so it's ready to roll. Come end of August, I guess. End of August? Yeah, I guess it is the end of August. By the end of August, I have to be ready to rock and roll. So yeah, kind of exciting. Well, I have to be ready to roll. She has to be ready to roll. She's the one who's going to pitch it. I just have to write the 1-page for it. And I say because we're also writing it together as well. But I end up doing the tapping on the keys. And then she goes, yeah, could you just untap some of those keys? And so she's very good at things once they're in a format, if that makes sense. So I will throw out, like we did with Dog's Breakfast, I will put out a script and then she will tear my poor little babies apart and tell me what works and what doesn't work and how bad my grammar is. Sounds fun. If you want a background character, hit me up. I want to get my Erdo's Hamilton Bacon number. What? I have no idea what James Gurney is talking about. But background character? Actually, that'd be hilarious. Should we get James in on it? As well, James has got like a James Bond look to him. We could probably get him in here. Hewlett Horrors Part 1. Right now, I'm sort of calling it a Northern Horror, but I got to come up with a good name for it. I'll watch ghost stories sometimes, but not gore. Yeah, this is more creepy than gory, although there is some gory stuff. I gotta say, it's an entomological. Nothing bugs do is pretty. Everything bugs do is from a horror movie. Like the reality for a bug is just horrible. So that's we just have to to get in the mind of the mind of a bug. So okay, that'd be fun. James and Lance's extras. Yeah, get Lance in there too. That'd be good. Hey, did you ever get to stream with Lance, James? James and I were bemoaning the fact that Lance couldn't stream the other day. Erdos number is like Bacon number, but for mathematics publications. Hamilton number is the same, but for evolution. I have a good Erdos number and the lowest possible Hamilton number. Really? A Bacon number, but for mathematics publications. Huh. Nice. So I would probably have a good Hamilton number, but a bad Erdos number. In fact, I know I would have a bad Erdos number. In fact, I probably wouldn't know what the number was. Talking about festivals, didn't you mention last time that you might attend a conference in Europe somewhere around the end of the year? Yes. Where is it? It's not a formal announcement because we haven't got a deal yet. But I think we're talking about France. I think we're talking about somewhere in France, which would be lovely. No one will ever have to reschedule. What? We have to reschedule the stream? Oh, we will have to reschedule it again. Again. Not again. You have to reschedule the Lance stream again? I'm really hoping to play Magic the Gathering with him at some point. I just kind of miss Magic the Gathering. And I also just miss getting to just talk shit with Lance. Although we tend to do that a lot on Tech Bandits as well. I realize I've forgotten to mention Tech Bandits on the Discord. So it's possible there may not be people here. It's also the summer, so there's anyways, I'm quite happy to babble on by myself, as you can probably tell. All right, I'm gonna go back here. So yeah, so movie wise, I'd love to. So what are people's favorite horror movies? Like, do people like? I don't know how to do a poll on this thing, but can we do a poll to see how many people like horror movies and how many people don't like horror movies? I'd like to see you play a detective who discovers that all the missing persons on a particular day were actually taken in the rapture, but nobody noticed because it's so few qualified. Okay. My Bacon number is 2. What does that mean? I worked with his wife. Does that make me 2? Is that the 2? Yeah, it does make me hungry, Stu. Someday you surely will return to Germany. Yeah, I know. What's the deal with that? Yeah, I never go to Germany. That's to be honest, I don't do a lot of conventions anymore. This was nice. Jane, I think, liked the sound of this one. So so bad it's good horror movie. The Boy. Ah, that was a good one. The Boy. Good point. I saw The Boy. I enjoyed The Boy. Because it was, again, it doesn't need to be brilliant. It just needs to be clever enough in places, I find. The ending always falls apart to some extent, but The Boy was actually kind of fun the way that ended. Okay, I'm gonna have to write down some of these names so that I remember in my list of lists. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do. I am going to start. I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want is a Google document right here. I'm gonna create a Google document right now that has a list of movies that people were suggesting. Okay, so the first one up was The Boy. The Boy, not spelt Bouy. Although that would probably be a good movie too. Okay, so what else we've got? So bad is good. Okay, so Nixie Geek. I like psychological horror, but not blood or guts or gore. Seeing really bad stuff happen on screen is oddly always better. Off screen, yeah, for some of it. I'm afraid I just kind of like. I will revel in the mechanics of it, if that makes sense. In a weird way, I see the horror stuff as kind of like Instructables, if that makes sense. Like I see them and I go like, ooh, I guess they had tubes in here and that. And so in a weird way, I don't see it as gore. I see it as like puppetry or special effects or something. So I don't know. I kind of enjoy it from that standpoint, just how silly some of them go. You were in Shape of Water with Michael Shannon, who was in The Woodsman with Bacon. But I also worked with Bacon's wife. So does that help? That's got to be a better... Wait a second. Michael Shannon can't be the same level of Bacon as his wife, can he? I worked with Sarah Kedgwick. How do we say that? Kira Sedgwick? What's her name? I never get her name right. Lovely woman, by the way. She was very sweet. Okay, so what other horror movies you got? We love the babbling. I know. That's it. That's all I got. Babbling. Yeah. Okay. I'm behind on the movies. Favorite horror movie involved a haunted, closed prison camp. What? Go for Fluffer Nut. What was it called? The Others. Oh, The Others was about as scary as I can enjoy. Okay, so The Others. I'm getting a lot of the movies. It's like a Netflix recommendation. You like The Boy. How about The something? Because they always just, their suggestions are usually pretty terrible. Someone needs to make a movie of horrors of cable management. Yeah, me. I'm living it. I'm living the cable management horror. I like that, though. Why less conventions these days? Well, Eric, MCI, just because, it's been a long time. I mean, Stargate was a long, long time ago. And I do a lot of this stuff now. So I feel like I don't feel like I need... I don't feel like if people want to hear from me and see me and that kind of stuff, I feel like I can do a lot more of that from my basement lair. That I don't need to travel around as much, and I just don't want to be. I want it to be an event. I don't want it to be a chore, if that makes sense. And I feel like you can get to a point where you're relying on these things as an income, and then you lose the joy out of it. You know what I mean? I want to be showing up at these things going like woohoo. You know what I mean? Like not like okay. All right, hello Milwaukee or wherever you are that day. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to become. It needs to be fun because otherwise I don't feel like I'm given what I need to give. If that makes sense. See, told you burping. Oh man, that was bad reflux. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm not sure ginger beer was the solution. Oh, it's horrible. Okay. Sixth Sense. Yep, Sixth Sense. Yep. I like that. One of the few movies by him that I liked. I like that, and I also liked Unbreakable as well. And then all of a sudden, he just drove off a cliff into a tree with that awful invasion movie. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yes, I think I saw that one, and I think it was quite kind of freaky, wasn't it? Exorcism of Emily Rose. Was that the body in the morgue? Was that the one that was the body in the morgue? Just come to the next FedCon in Germany. It's from the 10th to 12th of May next year. Well, you better get me invited. I mean, FedCon was extraordinary. FedCon was an extraordinary event. I went once, and it was amazing. The other thing I want to do with these things as well, and I have to talk to my French friends about this, is I would love to do some live streams from the convention. I mean, wouldn't that be fun? Like, just because not everyone can go to these things, and it would just be kind of neat to be able to like do like just a regular old Tech Bandits, but from a stage in front of like 4 people or whoever show up. Okay, what else we got? Exorcism Emily Rose, Sixth Sense. I detest gore, so psychological like M. Night Shyamalan. I see. Yeah, some of them are good. Some of his films are good. Honestly, his earlier films were good. His recent ones just drive me mad. Evil Dead Rise. Really, Trevorrow? That was not as good as the original by any means, was it? Evil Dead. I gotta say, I was not a fan of that one. I loved the effects, and it was fun having lots of scares and stuff, but I didn't feel like it really moved the genre in any way, or it certainly didn't move the Evil Dead thing I had in any way. Alien, yeah. Alien was freaking genius, James. That scared the living crap out of me. Evil Dead 1 and 2. Yeah, James. I did not like Evil Dead 1, I've got to say. I was not a huge fan of Evil Dead 1. Evil Dead 2, I think, is like perfect. It's like one of the most perfect horror movies ever made because it's funny and it's silly and it's gory and it's just bizarre and it's fun. Evil Dead 1 and 2. But yeah, the first one I was a bit rapey, I gotta say. It was a bit kind of gross that way. So it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies in all the wrong ways. But 2 I thought was amazing. Oh, Insidious. Insidious is pretty creepy. Yeah, I remember that one. Has anyone seen that horrendous one? Hereditary? Has anyone seen that one? Oof. That's another one where there's just some horror. Oh, Rosemary's Baby. Oh, that was great. That was around the same time as they had There was Rosemary's Baby. There was Rosemary's Baby, and then there was like all those other ones, those knockoff ones, like It Lives and It's Alive, and all, oh man, it was like crazy. Insidious, I remember really loving Rosemary's Baby. Oh, The Conjuring, Miss Lynch. Yes, the first Conjuring I quite liked. The second one was, I just did not work for me. It was not good. I love horror, but especially bad, low budget ones like Zombiever. You know, that's so funny, Zoomwalia. I saw that on the list the other day, and I was like, huh, maybe that's worth a go. All right, Zombiever it is. I guess that's on my list. Zombiever. Okay. Oh, you started a poll. Did you? How did? Listen, you started a poll, but I don't see a poll. Do you see a poll, Cal? Did you put it out there? I started the poll. Where's the poll? I don't see a poll. Where would it show up? Does it show up in the? Does it show up for me? Are we there yet? Did it work? Doesn't help that you're an hour behind on chat. Okay, you know what? Well, maybe you're an hour behind on the chat. Jonathan MLH says, Girl? Was that a movie? Was Girl a movie? The Babadook. I love The Babadook. This is what I'm discovering. I'm finding more and more female directors because I keep finding these surprisingly good horror movies, and they're surprisingly good because they're not done by old white guys like me. They're done by women who have a different perspective on horror, and I it's so refreshing and great to see, and a great reason for diversity. So yeah, I absolutely loved The Babadook. Yes. I mean, The Babadook, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but The Babadook ends in a way that that most male directors would not end it. You know, they just, that's all I'm going to say. The Babadook is a wonderfully terrifying, creepy film. And it has one of the most satisfying endings I found for a horror movie. Because horror movies, usually it's like all about mood and setting up. And it's like, you know, and all, like, it's just lots of scary stuff. And then in the last, like, 20 minutes, they have to, like, try to explain it. They're like, yeah, it was an alien ghost from another planet who doesn't like people with glasses. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and you're like, what? They go, the only way to kill it is to stop inviting people with glasses to parties. I mean, like, there's just, they have to come up with these stupid ideas for why the ghost could, and then invariably you satiate the ghost somehow by doing, and then it just pops back again at the end to freak you out anyway. So it's just, yeah. Is Cube a horror? Oh, Poltergeist. The Chatters. What are the Chatters? I've never even heard of that. The Chatters, and also Poltergeist. Which Poltergeist? The original one or the new one? Does Cube count as a horror movie? I guess it's pretty gory. I mean, people walked out of that movie in the first 15 minutes because of that first sequence with Julian. So, I mean, yes, worst horror movie and gore is, I can't do Human Centipede. I don't think I could do it. I just don't think it's going to be, I just don't think I will enjoy that. It doesn't sound like a story. It just sounds like a grossness. Onto Rat's Nest of Cables. Yeah, Sci-Fi Gal's telling us horror stories right now. I had to untangle a rat's nest of cables from my mother-in-law in order to rotate her desk 90 degrees. The horror. It's so true. Cable management is a freaking horror. Pin. Ho ho. But I think my favorite horror movie he's done is Pin. Really? Boy, that's going back. Little old me. I was so young. It was a lot of hair ago. Arrival. I liked Arrival. But Arrival, is that a horror? I feel like it's more sci-fi. Yeah, Evil Dead. Love Evil Dead. Those religious horror movies are creepy. I know. Isn't it weird? Because I'm not a religious person at all. But invariably, the religious stuff is the creepiest stuff. Is that a Vibe Pup? Hang on a sec.
Yes, it is.
Vibe Pup.
Oh, guess who became a magical tech wizard man?
Let me guess. Your father.
Me.
What have you done, magical tech person?
I set up my VR and I didn't have any help.
Oh, fantastic. Was it difficult?
Yeah, pretty difficult.
Which system do you have?
HTC Vive, the original one.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Yeah. The older ones are actually harder to set up, I find, than the newer ones.
You have to put up base stations and stuff, and I have it so I can't really punch anything expensive.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's very easy to. Yeah, I knocked a lot of things over, and I walked into a lot of things. I had some pretty nasty bruises from walking into a cabinet. Okay, we got a question going right now about, well, two questions. One is, do you like horror movies? Yes or no?
Uh,
I think
I
you.
do like them. I just kind of need like a friend to do it if it's a really spooky one.
Oh, I don't watch any horror movie now without the lights on and one headphone in. I
Oh
never
no,
do
I
both.
did dark. I'm gonna quick. Can I send a link in the chat to one short little spooky thing that I really loved?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. In
Oh,
the
one second.
chat.
I'm gonna join on my computer. I'm just on my phone right now.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh, so you
And
gotta do the announcement in the Discord. You did no announcement for the stream.
I know. I realized once I was live, I was like, God, crap! I forgot to do the. I announced everywhere on social media except in the Discord, which I forget every time. I need to like have a little script that I could write that just goes in and sends it out to everything because it's like crazy. 100 bits? What the heck? Thank you, Babylonia.
I
Okay.
got really lucky that Trevorrow sent me a message saying, "Hey, David's streaming."
Where the hell are you? That's right. I was actually, I was going to say to someone they should do that. M. Night Shyamalan did Stuart Little? Huh.
How
Okay.
long have you been streaming?
I've
Oh,
been,
an hour.
I've been streaming for an hour and 11 minutes. Holy cow.
I didn't even know.
I'm going to be wrapping
Oops.
up soon. We're talking about horror, though. Like, Day of the Dead. I like Day of the Dead. I mean, it was, yeah. Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna send a link.
Okay.
If you're gonna watch it, do not watch it with anyone. Do not do any research. Just watch it.
Okay. And is it like a YouTube video or something?
Yes, do it with the lights off. Trust me, it's not. There's no jump scares or anything.
Do I get to, like, should I watch it with everyone now or no? By myself later, you're saying?
But do it by yourself later. I don't think you can watch it.
The Fog and the Mist. Oh, yeah. The Fog. My little sister and I went to see The Fog when I was probably around your age, Vipop. And we went to see The
So
Fog.
I just sent it.
All right, cool. Where did you send it? Did you send it on Discord?
In the Twitch chat.
Very good. Fantastico. In the Twitch chat. Yeah, my sister and I went to go see the Fog because we read an article in a newspaper, in one of these snobby Canadian newspapers, probably the Globe and Mail, that was like, sort of, oh, this is a horror film. It's not even horrible. It's like actually really funny. And it's like, so we're like, oh, let's go see a funny horror movie. So we went and saw The Fog. Holy, I didn't sleep ever again. I was freaked out. The Fog totally freaked me out. So I remember that very well. Thank you for reminding me, whoever that was. Carrie, The Ring. The Ring was good too. All right, come on. Your favorite horror movie?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't watched too much horror movies. I've only really watched short stories on short films on YouTube. I'll send the thing to you.
See, that's what I'm it's funny, someone said that they really enjoyed Rust, which is a sci-fi. They do a lot of sci-fi shorts.
I just sent you it in the direct messages.
Okay.
So just quickly go and take a peek at it.
So I've got both. All right, direct message. Oh my God, look how many people are in my direct message thing now. This is getting crazy.
I'm the little dog with a ghost outfit on.
The Kid and the Camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
Really? Okay. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in our... Did you put it in the chat? I guess you
I
did.
put
Oh my
it
God,
in
I'm
the-
so far behind.
Yeah, I put
Holy-
it in the Twitch chat.
All right. Is it good?
I liked it. It's not too scary. It's just kind of scary when you put everything together.
So can we do like a watch along? Will I get in trouble if I were to do like a watch along with it?
I do not know. I suggest asking Cal.
If I do it and I make sure that the avatars are in front of it, then it would be like recreating it in a different way, right? Wouldn't it?
I do not know legal stuff.
I don't want to rip
so-
anybody off, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Just quickly do a search saying, "Can you watch YouTube videos on stream?"
All right. I'm doing that search right now.
I think it would be legal if it's a reaction.
It would be a reaction to it. Okay. Well then, so
maybe just delete the VOD afterwards.
Copy link. Okay. Delete the what? Like, don't put it on YouTube, you mean?
You can put it on YouTube. Just you want to.
Oh, it's old. This is old.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it?
It's just VHS horror.
Oh, so it's supposed to look like VHS. What is it with you guys in VHS? You love VHS. I notice this stuff all the time that's that.
To me, it's kind of more creepy because I don't know. Just the flickering kind of gets me, and it kind of just spooks out.
I agree. It's like it's really, there's something about it that gets me every time. But I'm just because you guys didn't grow up with it, I assumed that it wouldn't affect you, but I guess it still does. All right, The Kid in the Camera, short film. Okay. So if I were to go, if I put it like there, and then I make it smaller. Why is it so? It's the worst framing ever.
Wait,
if I go full screen.
Why don't you just like a watch party type thing?
Yeah.
Don't have it up on stream. Just
just tell people to watch it.
Yeah.
I see.
And just say like what time you're on.
So I'm about to watch this movie, and you're not going to see it because I don't want to get whatever happens.
Or I'll do a quick search.
So what happens to me anyways if that happens?
I'm pretty sure they'll just say nuh-uh and make you take off the.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I pop it out? Can I pop it out so that pop out? Copy video? No. Loop? Nope. I thought I used to be able to pop it out as a little.
I just searched up.
Player.
Can you watch YouTube videos on? No, I searched up Steam, not stream.
Okay.
SCRE.
And they said.
You need find the host that are watching.
Where's that little window? I wanted that little window. No, it's gone. Nope. How about that little window? This one? Nope. How about this one? Nope. How about this one?
It says that you can.
Oh, really? As long as it's like you're a watch party or something.
I don't understand though.
Why can't I hear it though?
We need someone smarter than me to search this up.
Why am I not hearing it?
Okay, somebody that seems pretty smart said you can stream it as long as you provide commentary. It's fair use.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So I'm going to put myself somewhere.
Also, can he use the volume too?
Because right now I'm not getting any sound at all from it. I gotta, I may have to figure this out too. Oh my God, nothing is easy. Nothing is easy.
So he said, yeah.
Okay. So if I do, I think was it, I can't remember, was it tab that allowed you to do? Nope, not that. Control tab, maybe? What was the one that allowed you to, all right, I just go like this. What if I just do this like this? There you go. So it's just up in the corner like this, little tiny, little star video. So we're not ruining anything, but I can watch it bigger myself here.
But try to make it so everybody can hear the sound, because the sound is what makes it creepy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The sound is the only thing that kind of spooks me.
Really? Okay. Well, then why can't I not hear it right now? Oh, is it not letting me stream to the stream? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Because I can wait a second, because I can play music, and the music I can hear the music. All right, so I can hear music. So why can I not hear anything now? It's not silent to start. It feels like it's.
What?
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm playing GTA and I'm pretty sure if it's a hack in the lobby, he just gave everyone in the server a ton of money.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he just gave me $105,000.
It won't play. It won't play the sound. Is that not weird?
That is pretty weird.
Oh, I see. Okay, there you go. All right, here we go. So this is the movie that freaked you out. This little movie right here.
I just found it really spooky.
All right, wait a second. Let me just see if there's a way. Can someone remind me how I'm supposed to? How do I crop? Is there a way to crop an image? Was it something control and something control shift? Maybe was it control shift?
I'm pretty sure the hacker also gave me a car. What?
Was it control tab? How did anyone remember what the? No, the layers.
Is it alt? Is it alt, David? You have to hold down Alt.
Alt.
I just couldn't. I
Thank
just
you,
couldn't
James.
sit here anymore.
I was like, what? It's like
Wait,
I go
wait,
through this
James,
every
we
single
know
time.
that James Rooney is really smart. Would he be allowed to play it on stream because it's on YouTube?
I mean, technically no, but I've seen 1,000 streamers do it. As long as it's you can make an argument it's fair use from your commenting on it, but I really wouldn't worry about it.
I think yeah, we should be fine. I mean, and it's only how long is it?
7
minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, it's 7 minutes, and you know who knows? Maybe more people will see it because of this. Okay, so here we go. I'm playing it.
Tape 1. Unidentified disease. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 8th of August, 1988.
I like the accent.
Several cases of an unidentified infection have been reported in several parish residents. Patients were reported to have been swimming in the Tickfaw River prior to symptoms.
Tickfaw River prior?
Additional
What?
notes. Blood samples have been ordered from each patient. Water samples were taken from 3 key areas of the river.
Okay.
Sample 1,
I think you're watching the wrong video, David. Because this isn't
Yeah, what is this?
this isn't the video that Vibe sent you.
This is not the video I sent.
That's
you.
not it? Well, what
That's
is
not it.
But it's a horror though. Isn't that it? What is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, I guess it had moved on to the next one.
Yeah.
That did not. I was like, wow, this is quite, you know.
This-
How on earth did you end up with? Okay, let's try this one instead then. Okay, here we go. Here's the kid and the camera, just in case anyone was questioning. What? I wonder what that swamp thing was about though. Okay, but
Can
that was
anyone
also
else-
VHS
wait,
horror.
Can people on the stream hear?
Let me check. Yes.
Okay.
Once upon a star,
What the
there
heck?
lived a boy named Kalen. He was a happy little tot of 6 years old.
Oh,
and
we
on his
cannot
birthday,
see it anymore.
Now, what have
though.
I done?
You-
What have I done
very
now?
Special gift.
Just
Oh, there you go.
just
Very
pause
own
it and try to
photo
fix
camera.
it.
There we go.
There.
There you go.
Kalen
All right, go back. I'm going back again. Okay.
Once upon a star, there lived a boy named Kalen. He was a happy little tot of 6 years old, and on
Okay.
his birthday, he received a very special gift,
Okay.
his very own photo camera.
A photo camera. Okay.
Kalen loved the camera so
What?
much that he took it out every day, snapping photos of anything he could. A picture here, a picture there, until one day, a terrible accident happened.
What?
It
Oh, no.
gets-
Oh no. Okay, camera's falling.
And the camera broke.
Aw, that's horrible. What a terrible story. Oh, now what?
Kalen didn't sleep a wink. Haunted by thoughts of his once perfect camera late into the night.
It's true. Once
That
you've broken a new
sudden
toy, that always
sound
freaked me out.
caught his attention.
Binoculars were always the thing I broke as a kid.
What no? Did anyone hear a noise? I didn't hear a noise.
I heard one. It might just be.
What is that? Is there someone knocking at the window?
And there stood on the other side of Kalen's bedroom window a large winged creature.
The hell's that?
Hello there, you lad, greeted the creature. I'm the Kipsneed, your sleep fairy. Sleep
What?
fairy? That is correct, replied the Kipsneed. My job is to make sure you get a good night's sleep.
I promise it
but
gets
it's come
creepy
to my
later.
attention
What?
that you
It
haven't
better.
been resting at all lately.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the reason why. Kalen had never heard of a sleep fairy.
No. What the? Who
My
has?
parents told me not to talk to strangers.
Or strange winged animals?
Strangers? I'm no stranger. I know all the girls and boys round the globe.
Yeah, that's
I
creepy.
know their parents, their homes, their names.
Okay.
I even know your name.
The visa
Kalen.
numbers?
Would a stranger know your name?
Yeah.
Kalen thought on it for a moment. No, I guess not. If you must know why I'm awake. It's my camera.
Broke his camera.
It's broken.
Yeah.
And just like that, tears welled up in Kalen's eyes.
Did they?
Let me see.
That thing is creepy.
The
Kipsney
the
had an
kid sneak?
idea.
Yeah.
Why don't I get this camera fixed for you? Perhaps that would help you sleep easier. You could do that? Of course, and I know just the place.
Okay.
A factory in my homeworld. I'll lead you to the portal. Just follow my
Oh, wait a sec. Oh, man. There goes the kid.
Disappeared into the night.
That's it. What? I thought they were going to lead him to a portal. What is it about the VHS that makes it creepy? It's
Kalen
weird, isn't it?
followed close behind the Kipsney.
It changed the color, and a lot of
Mm.
them make it like
Snapping photos to
glitch,
mark the way.
so
Mm.
it
Getting lost.
kind of gets more scary when it's glitching.
Mm. Was that... Did he take a camera? Did he take a picture?
He's taking pictures with his broken camera right now.
I feel like he's being lured away by the Kipsneer thing. Now what?
At last, Kalen reached a house.
Okay. Maybe stop taking photos. Man, those photos are going to be creepy if
Seems
there's
quite
something in them.
abandoned, thought the boy. And dark. But there was the Kipsneed's voice again, beckoning. The portal to my homeworld's inside. Come
Yeah,
along.
portal to hell? What's going on?
You see the little logo in the corner?
Yeah.
Just it will something will happen to it, which makes the next few scenes a little bit more creepy.
Well,
So,
the logo on the right-hand
In
side?
front of his obvious
Oh, yeah.
sight,
Is that a
Kalen
spoiler?
marched into the home.
No. It's just something to watch for.
Like, what child is going into some strange home followed by having been invited by some weird... Oh, gross. Okay, no, these are creepy. No! Don't do it like that. That's creepy. Okay. Why is he going in the basement? What is
He's
that?
helping with his camera.
Oh! Boy. Okay. What the hell? Okay, this is... Alright, no, this is kind of creepy now. It looks like my basement! Way to go. So you just got invited by some creepy creature to go and be in the basement of a house? This kid's not getting out. Is this gonna freak me out? What's that?
No.
Oh no, it's the kid again. Alright. Music. Music makes all the difference. Yeah, the music is hor... What the hell? What's that? Was that
Some
James,
weeks
or was
later,
that the movie?
authorities
Listen
surveyed
carefully.
The basement.
Ah, come on!
The rest of the boy was never found.
Oh my god, that's freaking... That's the nightmare! Blender VHS effect. Oh wow, did they do it all on... They did it
I
on
think it's all in
Blender.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing what some people are doing in Blender.
yeah.
Have you seen the Backrooms horror thing?
No, what's that?
I might be wrong here, but there was one person who made a short film called The Backrooms, and it's multiplied into many different subgenres of people making things about this same concept. It plays on the idea of liminal space, like the hallways and places in between rooms.
Oh yeah, like Skinamarink.
Yeah. So and there's this dimension which is just a liminal space, effectively, and there are monsters that live inside there. Some of the videos are, considering they are found footage, quotation, some of the effect stuff is just amazing. Obviously, these people are not walking around 60,000 square foot empty rooms, but it looks fantastic.
So liminal space horror.
Yeah.
Also, Mandela catalog.
Oh, the Mandela Cat. I feel like I've heard about this. See, but this is fascinating to me because I feel like this is what we, as an industry, this is the stuff we need to pay attention to. Like before.
Oh, definitely. Just the fact that the person who made this first video, the fact that, I don't want to belittle them and say a kid can do this at home. I think they were like 15 or 16 when they made the first one. If I'm thinking of the right person.
It's time and inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make you want to make a film, Pup? Does it make you want to make one?
No, but have any of you heard the Mandela catalog?
Oh, that's the what? Yeah, okay. The Mandela catalog. I was gonna look that one up as well. The Mandela. Oh, a web series. Interesting. Okay. Analog horror web series. I love the way it's called analog by American YouTuber Alex Kister. Fictional Mandela catalog. Okay, cool. That's on my list. Volume 1. I mean, this is something that I think, I started playing with some AI animation stuff, and I was like, you could really do some really fun stuff with this. Like, really fun. When I was making Debug, which was a disaster, no one should watch it. But when I was in the pre-stages of making it, I had all these wonderful ideas that I wanted to do, and I got poo-pooed every single time. I would say, like, let's just shoot the whole thing with GoPros. And they're like, oh, GoPros, David, don't be silly. That's for students. And I'm like, well, is it? Like, it just feels like a great way to do a lot of these effects that we want to do. And it would be, no. You got to have real cameras, real cinematographers who know what they're doing and everything. Anyway, so I got talked out of that. And then there were some visual effects, and I was like, this is what I want it to look like. And I showed them a video of some Red Giant and Video Copilot effects. And they're like, oh, David, this is student stuff for the internet. We've got real professional VFX people who are going to do stuff. They never got anywhere close to as good as the stuff that was done by kids in the basement. Ever.
The VFX in Debug was the one bit when the ship arm comes out. I'm trying to remember it now.
It was terrible.
I was like, oh, come on.
It was all. I mean, well, to be fair, to give everybody credit on that, that whole process was a disaster. There was nothing that went right. There were some terrible choices forced upon us because of producers. But there was just a lot of issues there. And what frustrated me the most was that I kept saying that I felt that the film industry was behind what was happening on YouTube. I now feel like they are way behind on what's happening on YouTube, because I have seen better visual effects. There's a beautiful film, which I don't think we'd get in trouble for this one. Have you seen Blue Dot?
Nope.
Not the Carl Sagan thing.
No. Okay. This is a
that's Pale Blue Dot, I suppose.
Yes, this is a Blue Dot short film. Let me see if I can find it.
You should also look up Worthy Kid or Worthy Kids. He's an animator who uses Blender exclusively, and he made a puppet animation show, one episode of it. But it is a perfect rendition of a 1970s weird Japanese TV show, and it looks like it's made with physical puppets, but it's all done.
What is it called?
That's Captain Yakimo or something. I'll send you it. I'll put it in the chat as well.
So Blue Dot was sent to me by my friend who works at Unreal, and I'm gonna show it to you because it's not horror, and I may not even show you the whole thing because it's only a couple minutes, but it's more of an art piece than it is a sort of a narrative film. But you just have to see it for the sake of like the level of the technology that's happening here. So I'm gonna put this up here. Just check this out. I won't tell you about the star. Oops, it's too fast. I couldn't read the subtitles. Sorry. So just check this out.
I'm watching on the stream, so a few seconds behind you.
21. november.
This is Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Isn't it extraordinary?
It's almost out of Uncanny
Yeah.
Valley. It's on the way right up to the top again.
If you slightly blur your eyes,
Never met.
Yeah.
it's absolutely
Although we keep searching
indistinguishable.
for each other because of
But I think what I liked here is that there's a
both
performance
hers and
here,
mine.
right? Like this is actors should be nervous because this is actually a performance.
This drunk rain whips.
This drunk rain whips and strikes.
The wind.
But how much of this is
Bulls
mocap?
billows
Like,
hair.
are they fitting a mocap?
Where am I
into-
going now?
I think these
A
are
model?
metahumans. I think
Which
it might
town
be
should I stop
like
at?
they might literally have done it from an iPhone.
Oh, wow.
I'm dragging around these empty eyes, staring
Again,
at the faces of passerby.
It almost doesn't matter what they're
Should
saying,
I
but
ask
the way
all
the
what
light is
and
working
how?
off his like
Why
look,
have
they've
we never
changed
met?
they're just changing the background continually.
Yeah.
Or did it already happen?
I would love to get to a point
Maybe I
where
missed
you
her
can
by a
make
step.
a movie that people that actually
Maybe she
that
was
get
there.
people. You know?
Right there next.
This is if
Well,
you
look-
watch
Love, Death, and Robots was getting
Oh,
kinda
God.
close to this, right?
was a great example of that. There's
Yeah.
that my favorite one of that one. Did you see that last one with the woman in the water?
I haven't watched the last season yet. I tend to watch them all in one go when I.
That you should just honestly. There's some great stuff. Sure, they're hit and miss. I find some stuff. I don't like the
Yeah.
comedy generally for some reason, but there is one that is an absolute must see, and that is this one with this kind of female, like water fairy or something. Like it is shockingly real. Like I was like, I don't know how they did this, and then I was like, oh, they didn't. It's all animated. Like you know what I mean? Like it was. And there was and they just the way they used I mean here's the other thing. I mean, and this is an interesting point actually. Wow. I mean, I wonder if it would be like we've got this horror film we want to do, and it's the idea of it is to do a very, very low budget and to shoot it out in Northern Ontario. And literally like Jane and I would direct and I'm like thinking about just operating the cameras myself because it's all very simple, not simple shots, but it's all technology based shots. There are robots, there are drones, there are static shots, there are selfies. There's a whole bunch of, you know what I mean? It's not a found footage film, but it can embrace that, if that makes sense. So I kind of thought it would just be fun for us to play with, you get an actor you trust or a couple of actors you trust and go up there and shoot this thing. And I just feel like it would be a really fun, almost play-like production. And but now when I look at things like Blue Dot, I start going like, or do you invite them all over for coffee and then just mocap in your basement and then create something stunningly beautiful? You know what I mean?
I still think so. I've been watching a lot of Corridor Digital lately. Corridor Digital.
Yeah, they're amazing,
and
aren't they?
they are really good. But when you look at like some of the stuff they're doing, it's like, oh, that's 85%, 90% of the way there, right? And then that last 10% is not linear. That's the hard bit, right?
I mean, I remember talking to Guillermo del Toro about this, and I said you've got to see these short films by Red Giant, because there were a couple of these short films by Red Giant that I felt were one of them is called New Old or Old New or whatever it is, but there's just a couple of films that they did that really I just thought were beautifully done, and not perfect, but pretty damn well, certainly more perfect than many of the feature films that I'd seen. And he was lamenting, I don't think I ever got him to watch the actual videos, but I sent them to him. But he was saying like, yeah, as soon as he sees this visual effects stuff, he's not interested.
Yeah.
Because he says like there's just no heart, there's no soul to it. There's no heart, there's no soul to this. You know, like it's like he just, you know, and I was like, no, you're missing out, because I feel like we're so close. And I felt like Pixar had done it. Pixar managed to turn these very digital characters into something that made us laugh and made us sad and made us, you know what I mean? Like it was a, you know, and horror is such a great way of doing this, because you could use that uncanny valley to your advantage. That's why one of the easiest things to have Midjourney spit out is a horror story, is a horror image, because there's something creepy about the way they do things anyways. Although the Guardian also drive me crazy.
And you know, and horror exceeds in the hidden, so you don't have to have like I like Cloverfield. The worst part of Cloverfield is when you finally actually see the full monster. Like it's like, oh, that weird looking thing, like all up until that point when it's all whiplash photography and, you know.
I'm trying to think, like I've watched a bunch of older movies recently, horror movies, and it is amazing how long they can keep you entertained with nothing happening. Like you are on the edge of your seat, and it's like an hour into a movie, and you're like, nothing's happened, but I gotta stop. You know what I mean? And then invariably when it happens, as you say, it's like that's when I switch into, you know, if it's gory, I go like, how did they do that? Like, I mean, it's like it doesn't. I don't find it. It's rare that I go like, you know what I mean? It's more of like, ooh, look at that. You know, there was a movie I watched last night. I can't remember the name of it, like Malik or Maluk or something like that. Anyways, it was not a good film, I've got to say. It was a beautifully made film. Beautifully, perfectly filmed, and there were some beautiful jump scares, but for some reason, maybe just because the story got very convoluted, but it really freaked me out, and I really enjoyed it for that. But by the end of it, I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. And it's such a fine line to walk on that. What was you were saying Alien or Evil Dead were your favorites in the horror?
Yeah, I love Alien.
It's
Alien,
brilliant.
Aliens. I even like Alien 4. Like
Which was 4? Which was the
Sigourney Weaver. I like it because of Sigourney Weaver, I'll be honest.
Was that the one in the prison?
That's 3. 4 is when she's resurrected and they put an alien queen inside her. No, it wasn't, but I still like it.
I liked 3 to some extent because it was the
3
guy.
It
was the guy who did that wonderful French film Delicatessen.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I don't know how it dates, but it's man, is it French? It's a very, very odd film called Delicatessen, and it's it's worth a look. That's kind of a horror too to some extent, but it's very sort of like, for want of a better word, squeaky. It's a very noisy film. It's all about rhythm and sounds, and it's extraordinary. It was actually one of the inspirations for Dog's Breakfast. The sound in Dog's Breakfast was a lot of.
Was that the director of Alien 3 or?
Yeah, I think so. He went on to direct Alien 3. I think he was picked out because of Delicatessen.
Okay.
He also did the Island of the Lost Children or something, which was a bit convoluted, but Delicatessen was just this very odd wonderful little French film. It was fantastic. All right, the horror stuff, that's fascinating. Vipup, thank you, because I hadn't really thought about the YouTube side of horror. You know what I mean? Like I watch horror on YouTube, but
there is a lot of new horror stuff. It's become a really big thing on YouTube.
I wondered, because Baz has an interest in horror that he didn't have before, and I was amazed that he wanted to watch Skinamarink, because Skinamarink, nothing happens. It's just atmosphere. Like I can't believe it did so well, because it's literally just it looks like a real estate video. Like it's literally like, it looks like someone just took all of those real estate shots in the dark and then added some whispery, scratchy stuff in the background. But and I couldn't get through it. It was too slow for me. But the kids were like going on and on about this crazy horror movie, and I'm like, there's no blood, there's no gore, there's no jump scares, there's nothing. They also really like Smile as well.
There is so Skinamarink. If I'm thinking of the right one, there's a similar because obviously that was one from that was a YouTube, produced on YouTube a little bit, or like some idea like it was uploaded to YouTube at some point.
Oh, was it original? Like it was that the original short or something? A
I
lot of them
think
start
so.
as shorts.
Yeah, I think he maybe had a separate like short film on YouTube which became Skinamarink. There's a similar one where it's two children stuck in a house, and the house slowly doesn't attack them, but like becomes hostile to them.
Huh.
And it's amazingly well made. I'm trying to remember the movie. There's a movie where it's a different movie where they run downstairs and like the door just like evaporates, sort of thing, and the walls start trying to grab the protagonist and stuff.
Oh, really? I like the sound of that. That's my
Oh,
kind of
it's
horror.
it's I don't think it's particularly gory or anything, but it's
I don't need gore.
it's
Yeah.
it's scary. It's not even psychological. It's just scary.
Yeah, that's what I like. I just like I don't know why I like a good scare. I'm not. As a kid, I used to not sleep because of it. Now I have no problem. People Under the Stairs, was that good? Grant Jansky, absolutely nicest character in Traders. All right, I'm adding this. I'm adding all these to my list. What have I got? There's a whole bunch of. I've missed a whole bunch of movies that people have suggested here. Okay, so does People Under the Stairs? James, do you know what the name of the movie was? Did you?
I'm just looking up now. Actually,
okay,
I'm trying to find. I searched for a film with disappearing door, and Skinamarink came up. It definitely isn't Skinamarink, the one I'm thinking of.
Skinamarink is a fairly recent one.
So the film I think it's a 3-part anthology. I think there's 3 different stories in it.
Oh, Alien 4. Alien 4 with Winona Ryder. Right. Yeah. The squeaky bit in the scene that turned into music. Oh my God. Someone's just mentioned a classic. Sci-Fi Gals just mentioned a classic. The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my God. It is one of the most gorgeous. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. It's more of an art film, but it's horrific. That is I haven't seen that for years, but it is. I can't remember who the name of the filmmaker was who made it, but he did these incredibly lavish, like there was like a feast in it that would have cost probably the budget of a small country. Like it was just a perfect feast, just laid out. I remember hating it because I thought it was pretentious, probably because I didn't understand it. But I remember my partner at the time was a huge fan. What was it? God. I can't remember the name of the director. Okay, rewatch. Did you sob when Shadow got stuck? What? Delicatessen classic. The Haunting, the original Haunting. You know what is a great original movie was The Haunting of Hill House. That the old black and white version of that, I was like, oh, watch the old black and white one and laugh at how bad. Then I was like, oh God, they did the most amazing effect that they've used before, since a lot. But they had this witch or this kind of weird old crone, and she just stood completely still, and she was obviously on like a skateboard or something, and they just wheeled her in across a shot. To this day, I still get a slight creepy feeling at the thought of it. Black Mirror, fantastic. There's some fantastic horror in the Black Mirror. The second episode of Black Mirror this year is that is a horror. That is a classic horror. What else we got in this list here? Homeward Bound? Is that a horror movie? I thought that was about like dogs and cats living together or something. Was it?
That's the one where there's the cat and the 2 dogs who speak get like.
Okay, that sounds like a horror to me for sure. That does sound like a horror. It's like a Disney horror. All right, this is a great one. Start producing. You have a few minutes. It's single stories per episode. They're so good. Which one is that? Is that the Ghost Game? What is that? Ghost Game. Huh. Never heard of it. See, this is why I love doing this. I'm a judge, James.
Be real fun.
Like, isn't that going to be amazing? Like, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, wait, you want me to watch movies for you and tell you what I think? Yeah. Nobody ever cares what I think in this house. Unreal's pipeline for the movie industry is really impressive. Yeah, I should get my friend on here to talk if they're up for it. Because They work for the metahuman side of Unreal, and literally I want a job at Unreal teaching metahumans how to act, because I think that's part of the nuance. I mean, I may be too late because having seen Blue Dot, I think there's some beautiful stuff in that as well. But I think part of the problem with a lot of the digital stuff is that they act like soap opera actors, right? They act like bad soap opera actors, and unfortunately, that when you've got that uncanny valley already, it detaches you so fast.
Do you think they act like soap actors because they are bad actors, or because of the limitation of technology? I'm just thinking, like, are soap actors bad actors?
No, in fact, I think it's a great training ground for a lot of actors. A lot of really good actors who've come out of it, because you're given a script at the last second, basically. You're shooting, like, it's almost like shooting a new play every day. So you're constantly just like, I think part of the reason why it's bad is that the acting, it requires an extraordinary amount of technical acting, if that makes sense, which is not necessarily emoting as much as it is technically good, so that you get to the right place at the right time and look in the right camera, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's not even so much that it's bad acting as it's just extraordinarily technical.
It's the physical thing of being like, don't look directly at the camera, stand here, say your lines within this time frame.
Lines that you've just been given. I mean, like, that's, yeah. I think that's
technical acting.
And also, you're only acting for that 1 hour of television. Like, you don't know what's going to happen next week. You know, like, my friend's wife was on, I don't know, All My Children or something. And, you know, 1 minute she's a double, the next she's a gay mother, then she's, you know, like her character just goes in whatever direction they feel like going, you know. And it's not like she can, like, pepper that through the performance leading up, you know what I mean? So I think there's always a kind of I think there's almost a forced generic quality to every response, or maybe not generic. There's a forced mystery behind everything you say, because it could mean something later, but it might not. You know what I mean? So I feel like
There's a guy on Twitch who streams Passions, that drama.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, God, some of the acting in that. It's like the story started off, I think, fairly sensible, and then over the course of a few years, it became, well, the witchcraft has, you know, resurrected the amulet. And
I've always said I would love to do a sci-fi soap. I just think it would be so much fun, because you'd be constantly, you don't know what's going to happen. And you're like, you got a puppet one day, and then there's to me, it would just be, I think that would be the smartest thing like sci-fi could do. It would be just because every day you could tune in for another, you know, sci-fi telenovela type thing. Yeah. I always thought that'd be just wonderful, because you could just explore all sorts of weird and crazy things. And, you know, 1 week it could be quite, you know, state and normal, and the next it could be just like off in the middle of nowhere. So
I felt Town Called Eureka had elements of Eureka. Like a level, not to say it was bad. I thought it was quite good in places, but like the narrative throughout that show was much more like, oh, this is happening, and this is happening, as opposed to like Fringe, which had a very, you know, not M. Night Shyamalan.
Well, I think that's the difference between like a network television show and cable. Like a network television show, you've got movie execs, and I mean, you've got the TV execs, you've got trying to lay out you've got seasoned television professionals who are working each script to make sure that it fits together in whatever you're doing. Whereas a show like Eureka, or a lot of the sci-fi shows, were very low budget. Were like shooting for, you know, like Stargate had the luxury of shooting 6 days an episode. You know, Eureka was shooting like it was nuts. Sometimes I think in 1 week there was like they'd be shooting like a couple of episodes and a couple of web series, and like they never freaking stopped, never. So I think there's a certain weird franticness that comes with that. I love that feeling. I've got to say, I love making tiny movie films. I get very grumpy. I get very snappy at people. But the reality is that, to me, that's filmmaking. This kind of like, what? Okay, fine. Okay, and action. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah. I think he may have
Microphone.
muted himself.
I need to get a new cable for my microphone.
You got too animated there.
I got too animated. I touched my cable, and yeah, I've got a very, very sensitive cable. I don't mean to get
It
personal.
happens with age.
I don't mean to get personal, but yes, exactly. Okay, my dad loved Eureka. Eureka was a lot of fun. You know what was actually talking about horror? Did you watch any of American Horror Story?
Season.
Which season?
The first one.
I watched a bit of the first season, which I found really cheesy.
It was very cheesy.
And then it seemed to transcend its cheesiness and become almost artistic in its.
Yeah. I think when you the start, I watched the first episode of the second season when they start in that asylum. I was like, oh, it's one of those things. I was like, I'll come back to this at some point because it's just they. And
I never did.
No, I didn't.
No, me too. Exactly.
Their production went up and up. And it's like, this is actually not just watch this because it's on. It's like I can actually enjoy watching this now.
Yeah, I should probably go back to it because I feel like there's some fun. There's definitely a lot of fun nods to old horror. A bit like Stranger Things. Stranger Things has direct not even. I mean, I guess you'd call it homage or fromage, but it's these homage to all these 1980s and 90s films. They're just direct rip-off shots and scenes. Like a lot of the scenes are just straight out of horror or sci-fi movies of the era, and I loved it for that. It was fantastic. It was great.
I still haven't finished watching the last season of that either because again, I started it. It was like, I don't like binging TV shows. I feel
well. You and nobody else. Everyone. What do you mean you don't binge? You can't. You don't binge?
No, because it's similar to like here's the perfect example. Similar to the YouTube algorithm thing. I turn autoplay off and I try not to watch what YouTube tells me to watch.
Yeah, that's what I try to teach Baz.
Yeah.
Well, because otherwise you're not choosing what to watch. You're being fed. Yeah. I agree.
I'll watch it on my own time. If the show's good enough, I'll come back and finish it.
As it turns out for me, I just skip whatever video I've been given and just go straight to what they suggest.
Yeah.
Flash and Grant Austin. What do I think of Flash with Grant Austin? What was that? I know there's a new Flash movie out that I'm curious to see, but I've given up on superhero movies, to be honest. I just can't. I just find them so frustrating now that there's like either an assumption that I'm supposed to have watched every movie leading up to this in order to make this movie make sense, or they're just so ludicrous. And I mean, we quite enjoyed like the first Shazam. Baz and I sat down to watch the second one, and we were like, "What is this car crash?" We couldn't get through it. We were like, "What? What is going on? Why do they all have superpowers? And what? None of this makes sense." I think I almost prefer low budget films now because at least they're slightly surprising.
They showed at the end of the first movie all of them getting superpowers.
I know, but it was like, but what do you do with that? Like, I feel like they did that, and then at the end of that movie, you go, oh, that's great, end of movie, right? But now you're like, well, then don't make a second one, because now you have to explain all of that, and how stupid it is of you to come up with that in the first place. And then then the next thing is you got to then take you always got to take away their powers at some point. Oh no, they're going to lose their powers. And it's like, well, they're coming back.
It's Hero's Journey. It's just, again,
but
the only DC movie I enjoyed was the second iteration of Suicide Squad.
Yep, likewise. And the third, the second of the second, if that makes sense. I liked part 1 and 2. Punisher's genius, absolute freaking. Have you watched that series?
No.
Oh, dude, if you've watched the two new Suicide Squads, then you have to watch that series. It's.
Do you mean Peacemaker?
Oh, that's what I mean, Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, I was going to recommend Peacemaker.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, Peacemaker is fantastic. Again, it plays on those tropes of like the superhero genre, while also being funny and
scathingly political and like it's oh my god, I loved it. Yeah.
I didn't know John Cena could act that well.
John Cena's my favorite actor now. Like literally one of my favorite actors. I think he's I like he makes me laugh. He makes me cry. He was in what was it? Fast and Furious 500 or whatever the hell it was. The one Jason's latest one, and I loved it. Like I just loved him. I also love Momoa in it. I gotta say, because he just looked like he was having so much fun. That just looked like my buddy having fun. That's why I liked that one.
The theme tune also goes like, was it? It's Wigwam. Do you want to taste it? Just 80s.
Is that what
yeah.
It's so old to this point now that I feel like, I'm not. Across the Spider-Verse, I've got to see that, but I haven't yet. Although I've got to say, Baz came home and was like, they didn't finish it, and I was like, did that? What do you mean? He said, well, they just stopped and said, come back for the next part. I was like, it's like saying like, we've got to play. You're gonna really enjoy it. Oh, we're gonna write the rest later. It's like, come on.
We'll fix it later. The joke I was gonna make about Wigwam is it's an 80s style song, right? Like, do you want to taste it? Do you know when it was released?
No.
2010.
Oh my god, it's so old. Well, when was the first Fast and Furious? Probably around then, probably.
No, first Fast and Furious was like early 2000s, wasn't it? Because it was all about.
Oh, okay, all right. I guess it would have been around. No, because we were onto a number of them by the time I met Jane, and Jane and I have been together for like 17 years now.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah,
the first one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Really? Oh my god. I just saw your head down for like a minute and it froze. That's creepy. Creepy. Captain Catherine's being freaked out.
The other thing I wanted to mention about in terms of horror films is the creepypasta stuff, right? So,
oh yeah, what is the deal on that?
There's some very good stuff, and typically short stories, but you want to make sure you don't take a creepypasta story and make it into a film, like verbatim. But there's one of my favorite. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite, but one of the ones I know the most about is Candle Cove, because it's by the artist Chris Straub, who happens to also be my favorite D&D show.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so he made this. He wrote this creepypasta called Candle Cove, which is about a fictional TV show for children that some people do or don't remember. And then it turned out someone made the TV show.
Oh, that's
Candle
right.
Cove.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
I think you told me about this before.
Yeah.
Some creepy thing. Look, this is the internet stuff. This is the funny thing is, I think people used to make stuff for the internet in order for people to see it, and then Hollywood says like, oh yeah, no, YouTube is a great place for us to pick up movies, basically.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm like, screw Hollywood, just make your movies on YouTube. Like, if you have success there, chances are you'll make more money and have more success than you will with some bad Hollywood version that waters it down or changes everything for the sake of changing everything. You know what I mean? Well, there you go. That's our future. That's my pivot. My pivot is to just start making little movies on the problem with this is oh, and by the way, James, I have to give you credit for the making the movie with Jane.
Because, oh, really?
Well, yeah, because we had that conversation. You said, "Why don't you just make a movie?" And I'm like, "Well, there's all." And so I went and talked to Jane about it. I was like, I was just talking about this, and I said, "Why don't we make movies anymore like that?" And she's like, "Well, because we don't have any money." And I was like, "Well, there's that." But I said, "But why don't we at least approach it the same way, only like just as a cheap movie that we make with our friends type thing?" And anyway, so we talked about it, and I told her a couple of ideas, and then she said, "That one, I want that one." And also the idea of her directing, I think really like her and I directing together. It's been fun. It's been really fun to work on because all of a sudden, like we started doing film and television together to do film and television together. I've gone this way, she's gone that way, and I never see her anymore. Like we never. The whole point was then we get to work together. We never work together. I mean, partially because her mandate is films for women by women who give a fuck. So it's like, excuse me, sorry about that. It's my wife's logo. It's all I can say. So, and I think that's very smart of her to do that. But my interest is, I I struggle with the film industry about how they make movies. But the issue with the YouTube stuff. So thank you, first off, James. Before I get completely
That's
off
right.
track.
I'll take 10% of gross. It's fine.
Yeah, well, I'll get my agent to give you a call. My people will call your people for breakfast.
No, I stick by the monetary claim, and two, I stick by the principle of like you're a good actor. You've directed before. You have a wife who makes movies as well. Like it sounds like something that would be fun for you guys.
And it used to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think one of the issues that I get into, and one of the reasons why I've stepped back so much from it, is the process of development is crushing. Like, because you come in with an idea that you love and that you are obviously love because you've spent enough time to have a project ready to pitch to people, and then you pitch it to them. Like literally, I pitched a science show. Okay.
Yeah.
I pitched a science show to a producer or producing entity here, and their first note was, "Does it have to have so much science?"
Yes.
And I'm like,
Of course.
and then I was like, oh, right. I effing hate development because it's like, what are we doing? So the idea of being able to just run out and make something has always been like, that's how I started. Like that's Vincenzo would come in with a script and all of his little storyboards, and we would just spend the summer figuring out how to make that movie. And I have never enjoyed filmmaking more than that. And then Dog's Breakfast was obviously very close to that. Very close to that. Where it's just me goofing around with some ideas on paper that I then bring to other people, and they bring their talent to it, and it happens.
How long did it take to make Dog's Breakfast from like initial concept to day one of filming, and then how long did you actually film it for and post-produce it for?
Well, that's the funny thing, right? So maybe that whole process it's usually about a year and a half, 2 years, about that. So the idea was probably a little earlier, maybe like an inkling in my head. No, actually, what am I saying? I had another script. I had another script called Wrecked, which was just about, the idea was just two people trapped in a car crash. Because I thought, what a great, simple, we'd have a car crash. They're stuck in the desert together, and they want to kill each other. Like they're literally, that was the point of and so it's just them. That was the idea. But that
sounds great.
It sounds great. The only problem is it's very hard to make that not contrived, because you're contriving a story to fit with what you want to shoot. Right. So I found that we came up with I wrote a script. It was pretty good. I mean, I think there was some elements there, but it became complicated. And at the end of it, I was like, what is this? At the end of this movie, what do I get? You know what I mean? Like what have I accomplished if someone sees this movie? They're just depressed. They're just depressed, and they hate mankind the way I do. So I thought, like, let me just do something completely different and fun. And I realized that writing serious stuff was difficult, because I guess I'm not a serious what is it? I love you, kids, but you're not serious people. I'm not a serious person. I deal with trauma and pain and grief with comedy. I've always done that. That's always been my John Cleese-like approach to life, is like, if I'm miserable, I will make a joke out of it. And so Dog's Breakfast was just something that was so, it was like a conversation it's like a first date that everything works out. I just started writing, and it was just like, woo! It was just like, it was just a really fun process to write. And then Jane came in and went like, that's great, but it doesn't make any sense, and this and that. And it was just such a wonderful, fun process to do. And then we brought in our friends from the show and crew and stuff. So it was a wonderful experience. I've never had anything like that since. Everything else has been thick into the industry with all sorts of politics and egos and stupidity and just, the waste. Oh God, the waste of money. It drives me mad how much money and resources are wasted in the film industry. Like just shocking amounts. Anyways, so it's been really nice, because I've basically said, like, I'm not pitching anything. We're not pitching this movie. If we can't make this movie for like $50 and a stick of gum, then it's never going to get made. So, you know, I'm happy to take it and tell people what we're doing. And if they want to get involved, fantastic. If they don't, we're making it anyways. Is basically, that was our approach with Dog's Breakfast. That is my hope to make this approach with the Northern Horror as well. So
one thing I think you should do if you're gonna put this out onto YouTube at the end, or use YouTube as a platform to advertise it, you should be filming the behind the scenes.
Yes.
So
because the process of making the film is as much a part of the story as absolutely. There you go. So James and I are going to start a film company, and well, maybe an internet film company.
50%.
That's 50 each. That's it. That's fine. That's a 50 and nothing is still nothing, James. I'll give you another coin. I'll pay you in tech coin.
They're worth $50.
I gave my friend, my Ukrainian friend, a coin, and she said, "Oh, I should give you $1 for it." I was like, $1? I said, "Those are $50," and she's like, "Whoa, no, I don't want it." I was like, "No, it's free for you." But you know, I said, people, you know, because there's a signature, and she goes, "I don't need your signature." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I know. I'm not offering you a signature. You're a friend. I'm giving you as a friend, you know, but not $50." I was like, "Yeah."
Again, the value of the coin is the fact you're helping David continue to detect bandits and outreach scientific communication.
Helping me to buy ginger beer that I enjoy drinking. Yeah. It's funny because it's actually, I said to Jane, I said, like, I would love this to be an income. It'd be wonderful for it to be an income, because like it's just that worry. It's just that worry of where I've always lived hand to mouth to some extent with film. And I've always gone like, oh, I know I'm not working now, but there's always something always comes up. And then for some reason, and I think it's just the way the industry has turned recently, I'm just not convinced anymore. Like, I know everyone's always assumed that their last movie is the last. I know I will work again, but I'm just not sure the industry is the same as it was before. And I feel like I've always wanted to do more, be more active in it. Like, one of my most disappointing things was the first professional movie set I went on to after working with my friends. And I was like, what can I do? They're like, just shut up, sit over there and drink coffee. And I'm like, no, but I'll help with the light. No, get away from those lights. You know, like, there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
As soon as the most disappointing thing I think people realize, actually most actors don't realize this, is that as soon as you stop saying lines, you're in the way.
Yeah.
Like, literally, shut up and move. I watch actors say like, "Oh yeah, I don't just stand in. Don't be silly. I'll stand in." And then they wander around the set chatting to people. And you're like, "Dude, the point of the stand-in is to stand on the freaking mark, right? And look at the camera." So it's there's a, I guess I came at it from a crew perspective. I started filmmaking when acting was just a part of the crew. You just happen to be on camera for that part, or you're holding the camera because you're holding the camera the next one, or the boom the next one, or you're manning the pumps of chocolate syrup so the blood looks good. I mean, it was so much fun because it was more than just the acting. And as soon as it's just acting, it's not nearly as much. I don't think it's much fun. Although it pays much better, weirdly, which is strange. But yeah, the hope is to do this Northern Horror, and it's actually very, very not based on our friends, but sort of inspired by a couple of friends we have who are entomologists, and so we kind of want to do an entomological horror.
There was that horror film you liked, a fairly old one with why do I want to say yellow or something? But there's like a scene of an ant's nest.
It was a film that was done by. Oh, come on. It's called Phase 4.
Phase 4.
Yeah. Phase 4. Oh my God. That movie changed my life. Like, I watched this movie. I was up late at night. I don't know what I was doing because I was never allowed to be up late watching TV. I'm assuming my parents were away or something, but I watched this movie, and it was done by Paul, what's his name?
I just looked it up. It's directed by Saul Bass.
Saul Bass. Saul Bass is the guy who did all those really cool old posters. for like Sinatra movies and stuff. You know those those like, Man with a Golden Hand. Those,
Vertigo and whatnot.
oh, fantastic poster guy. Yeah. It was the one and only movie he made. And having made Debug, I know what that feels like. But but he hired an ant scientist to film all of the ant sequences. And this
if you're gonna hire an ant, you have to hire a scientist ant.
But that's it. This guy didn't know that in movies they faked stuff. So for a year, he like trained ants to do exactly what was in the script. And they even to the point where he super glued little logo things on their foreheads. Right? He glued things onto their foreheads so they could look like space ants.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. I got to see that film again. They did a remake in Canada, which I'm going to have to see as well. I'll have to dig that one up as well. But
yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of John Gleaney. He played Perry in Scrubs, Dr. Cox in Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
One of his first films, he had to pole vault over something.
Yeah.
And the whole way forward, they're like, "Oh, so you can pole vault? You're pretty good at gymnastics." He's like, "Yeah, I can do it." So, but he taught himself basically from being cast to the shot to pole vault. So
how'd it go?
Apparently, he did it first time, and he's like, "Yes." And the director's like, "I was bluffing. We have a stunt guy. Like, we just want to see how far you'd go with this."
I worked with this amazing old director who directed Roots. I can't remember his name now. God, it was so long ago. It was Robin Givens' film, who was also lovely. We're shooting out on location out around Vancouver, and he comes up to me, he goes, "I was looking at your resume and it says you juggle. So I'd like you to juggle in this scene." And I'm like, oh crap. Like I literally read a book called Learn to Juggle and failed miserably at it. But like in a desperate need to write things in the special skills section, I was like, I read a book on juggling, so I literally practiced all morning to get it, just to get enough. And I think they had like, maybe like, I go like this, and then it was like, and they cut away because I just kept dropping them. Anyways. And he was, as it turns out, he actually said, I wasn't sure you could do that because most people don't, they can't do what's on their thing. I'm like, really? Yeah, no, that's weird. So that was I never lied again ever. I took everything off my special skills now. My special skills now are sitting and eating. That's all I've got at this point.
It's the Friends episode where Joey says he can speak French and ride a horse or something.
Right. Yeah. Well, that happens we had it all the time. We had what was it? What was the one? I did a movie. It was called The Triangle. It was with one of the kids from 902, the kid who died. What was it called? I can't say, this is terrible. I'm so bad at names. Anyways, did this terrible movie called The Triangle, which was like, I think I died of a heart attack. I was 20 at the time, or 25 or whatever it was, however old I was when I was like, really? Why would he die of a heart attack? I guess they'd probably written the part for an older guy, and then the studio had gone like, let's get some young kids in there instead. So I like die of a heart attack trying to take my pill. I'm like, gotta just take this one pill that'll stop my heart attack. Oh, can't. Dead. But there was no one could swim. I was like, did you not read the script? It's about us on a boat swimming around. I was the only actor who didn't have to swim, and one of the few actors who could actually swim. The women could swim, but I remember one of them standing at the front of the boat, and they said, okay, and she's supposed to dive in. One of these sexy shots of the woman in the bathing suit diving into the beautiful Bermuda Triangle waters, shot in Barbados. And was it Barbados? Bermuda? Bahamas? Bahamas. I think it was Bahamas we're in. And so she's standing on the front of the boat, and they go, okay, and action. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and she still doesn't move. It's like, I can't remember. Polly, we've got action. And she said, yes, but where's the man? And everyone's like, the man? Who's the man? She goes, isn't there a man who's going to spray to make sure there's no sharks? And I was like, the what? What spray? She goes, well, there's a spray. You spray and then the sharks go away. And it was like, the producer's like, there's no sharks. There's no sharks at all. So she dives in because there's no sharks. And as we're driving back or boating back, what does one do? Pulling into the harbor, we park next to a boat, a fishing boat. And there's a giant freaking shark hanging from a hook from this fishing boat. And as we pull up, I go like, woo, look at that. Where'd you get that? And he goes, oh, we caught it just a couple of feet off the dock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. We've been just swimming around, splashing around, screaming about heart attacks and Bermuda Triangles. And so there you go. So the man with the spray. I'm not going in the water without a man with the spray now, for sure.
You just say, he's been already. He's come. Don't worry.
He's come already. It's fine. You know what? They had a plane come over before and do a sweep. Exactly. Yeah, shark repellent. That was it. Hand me the shark repellent bat spray. Exactly. It's like spraying for roaches. It's funny, you know, we're talking about insect movies. I was never scared by the giant insect movies. Never scared me even slightly. But you bring them down to real size, and I'm done. Like, people would always say, like, you know, how did you do that scene? How did they do the scene where they had the rats on your face? They're like, how did they do that? And I said, well, they put rats on my face. And they're like, yeah, but was there glass or something? And I was like, no, they just put rats on my face. And so they're like, oh my God, I don't know how you did that. And I'm like, whatever. It's not, I wouldn't choose to have it done to me, but you know, whatever. Now, had those been spiders, I think I'd have a really, like, I don't know if I could do that. You know? Like, could you do that? Lie there with like spiders crawling on you? Or
depends on the spider. Like a tarantula.
I think I could do a tarantula.
Just because I know they're not what they look like, but if you like a wolf spider.
Oh no!
Like a huntsman?
No way! No. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like I honestly, even just a bunch of little spiders.
Yeah.
I have a respect for spiders now, thanks to Tech Bandits and the laser spiders. You know, the whole Black Widows and the lasers and things that we did. Yeah. Like they are beautiful, beautiful beasts. I feel like, I feel like I like now. So the difference between before and after the Tech Bandits laser spiders for me was like before spiders smack dead, like that was it. Now it's spider, and then how do I get it out of the house without killing it, without it touching me? You know, but I've some of the smaller ones I've actually begun to pick up, but I am a long way from. I mean, I am absolutely arachnophobic. There's no way. Spiders there's just something. It's them and those multiple leg things that crawl. What are they? Not the centipedes, the millipedes? No, millipedes. Or are they the centipedes? I'm trying to think. The ones with the sort of like legs that just sort of go like, that sort of frill up the side.
Millipedes.
I think it's a millipede. Yeah, they frill. Their legs sort of frill as they run. Those, oh my God, I'm sure they're very helpful, but those are dead before they cross. Yeah, I'm afraid I just can't deal with them. House centipedes.
I forget the name. There's obviously my folks are from Zimbabwe.
Oh God, yeah.
They have a special name for it. It's like sholongo or something like that. It's just. I mean, they're fairly docile things. I don't think they bite even, but they are.
They can bite though, can't they? They are poisonous. Not to us, but to certainly the insects that they're going after.
But they some of them grow up to a foot long.
See, weirdly, a foot.
Mm-hmm.
I say that. I feel like a foot long one I could handle. It's the little ones. It's something really weird about the little. What do they have? Does Zimbabwe have any sort of? They must have some. Well, if they've got the foot long centipedes, I can only imagine what kind of spiders they've got.
They have this. What is it? The bull-nosed or something. No, it's a horned baboon spider.
Oh, I'm looking it up. I love the sound of that already.
Greater horned baboon spider or something.
Greater horned baboon spider.
Yeah.
The stuff of nightmare.
I think it's technically a tarantula, but I know that because my dad got chased by one as a kid. So he hates spiders because this thing chased him
Really?
as a 6-year-old boy. So
Oh, what is that thing? Oh no, there's something really weird about it. It's got like a weird protuberance on it.
It's horned.
That is the horn? Oh no, that's horrible. No, that's the stuff
Yeah.
of nightmares. That's like it's got like a toenail growing out of its.
Yeah.
Oh God, a burst horned baboon.
Burst horn.
Oh my God, that is, and it is a burst horn. That's
Yeah.
horrible. Thank you for that, James.
It's okay.
Um,
Again, I think spiders are interesting.
Yeah.
They're very good for the ecosystem. I bought a house like 4 or 5 months ago, and
Congratulations. Is that where I sent
Thank you.
your new coin?
that is recent money.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I didn't put a number on yours. I don't number them for friends generally.
That's all right. That's all
Yeah.
right. I'll just write a number in.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought first off you could do whatever you
I'll
want
put-
with it,
I'll
but
put
also
1 in it.
it'll be rarer
Yeah.
that it's not numbered than if it is numbered at this point. So yeah. Although
but-
I love the idea of having a specific number to the. I can send you a
Yeah.
numbered one. Let me know. I'll send you a numbered one. Yeah. If there's a number you like,
Oh, 666, obviously, but
it's got to be 4, so it'd have to be 6666.
that's a shame.
The multiple of the beast. Would that be? You know. Like, all right,
10
sorry.
beasts.
Yeah. Yeah. Beast 10. That's it. Yeah.
We-
Math jokes.
We lived in an apartment obviously the last 6 years, so we've had like no interaction with nature day by day.
Just the way I like it. Yep.
616, Dixie Keats, right? Yeah. So 616 is also considered also to be the number of the beast.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a weird mistake in the Bible somewhere.
Really? There's a mistake in the
Just-
Bible?
Just one. Just one
Them's
mistake.
That's blasphemy, son. Okay.
So yeah, now we've got a house. I'm constantly fighting with Georgia wildlife, effectively. And it's
Yeah,
spiders, gigantic wasps. I cannot abide wasps.
I can't stand wasps.
Like I got stung so many times as a kid in Mauritius. I got stung when I moved to the UK. I thought it was good and clear when I came to the UK. The UK wasps were the most vicious.
No, they're
wasps
horrible. No, it's
Yeah.
true. And they're small though. They're small, but
Yeah.
man, yeah, in Canada once you hit August, it's like you can't go out. Well, not Canada. In Toronto, after like August, you can't go outside because you just literally get attacked by wasps. They go for your face. There's just no way around it. You can't eat outside. It's miserable, freaking miserable. Yeah, wasps are
I
horrible.
mean, we got yellow jackets here, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're real bad yellow jackets." It's like you should come to the UK and have think about eating a jam sandwich, and a wasp will hit you.
Yeah.
With the second week I was in the UK, I was at an after school club, and I was playing hide and seek with some other kids, and I was hiding behind the bin, and a wasp just came and pinned me to the wall. Obviously, I didn't want to move because it was right in my face. I was hiding, and then it just landed right on my lip and stung me.
Oh,
I was doing nothing. I was just trying my best not to aggravate it or anything. And yeah.
No, I feel like they're not even aggressive. They're just mean. I feel like they're mean spirited. So as a kid, we had a house that had a tiered garden that went down to a ravine, and so I was at the bottom of this tiered. It was basically a dangerous slope, with a couple of railway ties on it, and I felt this nasty, biting pain on my leg, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. What is maybe a hair got caught or something. I didn't have hairy legs then, so it couldn't have been that. But anyways, I was like, oh, that really hurts. And then another one. And then another one. And then I started running up the stairs towards the house. And I get to the house, and at which point I've been stung 10 times. Yeah. And it was a wasp. And my mom literally grabbed my pants and pulled them down. And this wasp flew off. So it didn't even kill it. Just flew off. But I remember I couldn't play hockey for a month because my leg had just swollen up like a giant, ugly sausage because of these bites, because he just bit me all the way down, up and down the leg.
Yeah.
And it was, oh God, it is a very McKay story. It's true.
We like the one time I really got stung badly was by hornets in Mauritius, and again, some
Beautiful
kids
place.
like
Mauritius.
it's lovely.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of the most beautiful places in the world.
One of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen.
Yeah. So we lived on Blue Bay, which is like on the beach, like a mile or two from the airport. And obviously all the neighborhood kids, we play out in the street and everything. So one day we were playing tag across this neighborhood, and no one really had fences. So we were just in everyone else's gardens. Great place to live as a kid. Anyway, we ran through this between two houses, and like being chased by the other kids playing tag, and every single kid went through just got stung by a hornet. They ran through this hornet's nest, and obviously round the corner they didn't see the kid in front, so it was a sting.
Oh God!
So my mom had to deal with like 15 kids with massive hornet stings. She gave us, I think she cut up like 5 or 6 onions and gave them to us. So
does
like,
that help?
Yeah, so it's something about the pH of an onion. I think it reduces the pain. It
Really?
worked. But yeah, like every single kid in the neighborhood was just tagged by a gigantic hornet. And they are big in Mauritius, the hornets.
There's those horrible, I can't remember what the name of the wasp was. The ones that have these, I guess they're the ones that sting tarantulas and stuff, but they have these like inch-long stingers that come out. These like crazy twisted, oh God, they're, I mean, again, fascinating stuff from a distance. But I have no desire to run into them anyway. We are, one of Jane's projects this year are these raised planter boxes that we're building out back, and I'm just not looking forward to it because I know it's going to be August and we're going to be out there and there's going to be like some wasp that's like, what you doing? What you doing? Can I sting you? What you doing? They're just in your face. Speaking of horror, there you go. We should be doing like. Although even that, I've never seen a good. The best bee stuff that I've seen was probably in Candyman, but bees, like, you'd think that would be more scary. I worked with a guy. He was a rat specialist, and he was telling me, because he also did insects as well, and he told me about how he would go around. He had bees and hornets and stuff. He had to have a scene where, like, apparently this woman was being stung by one of the scenes was this wasp sort of hovering in front of her face. A number of these wasps hover, and they wanted a shot that got both of them the same. And they're like, how are we gonna do it? He's like, I got it. So he got these, I don't know if they were wasps or bees, and he glued tiny little filaments to them, little tiny like hair-like filaments to these things, and then just let them free in front of the actress. So the actress sat there, and these things would just go at her.
Yeah.
But they couldn't because they were on a string the whole time. And I was oh my God. First off, the time it must take to sit there trying to hold a wasp down and glue and then to go like, it's fine, it'll hold. Because the other thing was they had to use a glue that dissolved because you didn't, I guess it's cruelty to wasps or whatever. I mean, as far as I'm saying, once you've used them, crush them because they're wasps, for God's sake. Horrible thing.
Don't know if they count towards any animal rights stuff. So we use moths quite often as an animal model specifically because there's no regulations about using them.
I know that they were using, I think it was moths they were using. There's one of the other things in the email of awesomeness was about the fact that we figured out how these olfactory sensors work now. Well, not that we did, I think we knew how they worked. We never sort of witnessed their three-dimensional form in grabbing these little tiny particles and pocketing them away. And like this, it's kind of like a catcher's mitt. I mean, you know about this, I'm sure, but for me, it was fascinating that it was just these little sensors that just pocketed a tiny particle of something that we smell, and there's a little like loop that latches down onto it that holds it in place, and then for some reason our brain is now, the stuff they haven't figured out is how our brain is able to go like, okay, there's something in that pocket, that means it must smell like this, let's create that for the brain. You know what I mean? Like it's just the freaking coolest thing. What was the point of this? Those insects. Oh, right.
Moths
And I think
and bees
and I think
yeah.
they'd used moths for the originally because there was some kind of, I guess, for that reason as well. Instead of trying to practice on humans with this stuff, they've been checking the olfactory response from moths as well. So I guess that must be. Is that one of those model organisms or something?
So it's probably Galeria, Megalogaster. So maybe, yeah. There are a couple of moth like model organisms. For neurological stuff, it's typically the fly that's the model organism. We had such a cool person we were trying to hire. Unfortunately, she chose to go to Harvard as opposed to us. Which
What?
I guess is
Instead
fine.
of Georgia University? What kind of
Yeah, she went to
madness is
Harvard.
that?
Yeah,
Harvard.
crazy.
What a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dead end college if I've ever heard. Yeah, one of them certificate mills. Yeah,
Yeah, diploma mill.
diploma mills. That's it. Yeah.
So it's not even a state university, like crazy. But she was working on the brain fungus in fruit flies, and she had identified a novel kind of fungus that basically does something very similar, but in a model organism. So beforehand, we only ever found it in species that we don't really use in the lab,
Right, like ants and yeah.
So she found one that infects model organism fruit flies. So she's the first person to be able to show all this like unbelievably cool neurological stuff. So she has images of what neurons are activated at what time during the infection by the fungus. So you can see exactly how the brain is responding, what the fungus is telling the brain to do.
But how? Like, how? I don't understand how you. They're so freaking tiny. Yeah. How do you do that? Is that the cryo electro whatever it's called thing again?
It's not even cryo EM. She was using a fluorescent microscope. You basically super glue their heads to a slide.
Yeah,
so
okay.
You stick them down, and then you can take images, and it's brain surgery on flies.
Wow.
Yeah, and because it's a model organism, we have all the gene reporters that can like make if this part of the brain turns on, it lights up or changes color, so we can do all that sort of stuff. It's just
gluing flies to slides when it's science is amazing. When it's a child, you're raising a psychopath. So you're either raising a psychopath or a scientist. It could be either one. That could be it.
The Venn diagram is basically a 0.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's not far for you with your. I remember when I first was made aware of you by Q. I was like, this guy really loves viruses. Like he actually really likes them. So I guess it's
still
each to one's own.
Nothing cooler than looking at a virus genome and seeing how sharply evolution has made this thing. How it has done, like the 5 genes in rabies virus. There's five proteins. That's it. Like it takes more proteins to make like the fingernail bed of my fingernail. Like for a virus to do all those things with such little ingredients is just it's amazing.
And but are they, I mean, I know obviously they're active to a certain extent, but how are they floating into place? Are they positioning themselves? Like how are they, I mean, like with that few proteins, are they able to, what are they, other than just inject DNA or RNA or whatever it is, do they have any kind of mobility to them?
Oh, David.
Listen to this. Let the romance begin. Yeah.
Watch the rabies video about rabies and Kirkscott.
All right.
I'm so excited I can't spell rabies.
Rabies virus. What I love is I could just type in rabies and I know that Kirkscott will probably show up in the first page or two.
Gonna come They just released a video which is a little strange, which I had no hand in.
Oh, about the we're gonna destroy ourselves? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an odd one.
I had no hand in that one.
It was an odd,
strange, guys.
It was interesting, but it was definitely kind of a out of the left field. I thought, like, yes, we could, but what's your point? Like, it didn't. Yeah. It sort of didn't go anywhere. I just sort of said like, I don't know. I guess they got to put stuff out, but I watched it sort of with bated breath to hear some kind of final truth, and it was like at the end I was like, oh, is that it? Okay,
I guess I can tell
I'll buy a poster.
It's based on a lecture by a guy from MIT. So
I just feel like we've all made that jump already. Like I just assume, like I feel like well, there's the I Am Pilgrim was a great book about basically someone trying to to bring back one of the plagues basically as a terrorist act. I think it was, what was it? It may have even been smallpox. I can't remember. It was some horrendous disease from the past that's basically been cured, and basically a Taliban-like organization decides that they're gonna this guy is gonna set them up with what they need, and they're gonna destroy the planet basically. Rabies Kurzgesagt. All right, Kurtz. I can never. Don't spell it. I'll figure it out. I can't even say it.
It's in the chat.
Kurtz. Oh, it is. Jesus. All right. Good evening, David, says Krillin64. Good evening to you, too. In fact, it is evening, and I should probably get moving because, oh my God, this is what happens when when Doc Prof shows up, we enter some kind of a weird time vortex, and I go from an hour of streaming to 2 hours and 40 minutes. Thank you, Captain Reaper, for your subscription. Oh my God, there's all sorts of subscriptions going on.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Wow.
I have been yakking away for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I had hoped that we'd have Lance in here, but I'm not. Is he having a hard time getting online these days, or is he continuing?
Sure.
Continuing to have a hard time getting, or maybe he's just bored of chatting with me.
He may not have seen it that you're streaming. He may not.
Because I didn't post it on Discord. God damn it! I was so organized. I changed the title. I came on a little early. I posted to Twitter. I posted to I can't remember what else I posted to. I didn't TikTok. Maybe I should TikTok. Maybe that'll get his attention.
Are you on Threads? Are you on Threads yet?
Am I on what?
Threads.
Oh God, it's another one.
Facebook replacement of Twitter.
I got an invite to, and
Blue Sky.
I joined up Blue Sky, but I haven't. I got there and I looked at it and I was like. I just felt like this, like, not again. Here we go. Like just thought, I feel like, remember those old days? Remember the old days? But remember like the days when like the My Page days where there was like MySpace and then there was, and you had to put in a MySpace and a this and an AOL and a CompuServe and a this. There was like this litany of things after your name online where people could get in touch with you. And I feel like it's got even worse now. Like I went to put a list of social links on some other thing. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Mailer. It may be Mailer Lite or whatever it is that I use for my email of awesomeness. But the list was like half a page long. It was like YouTube and TikTok and Twitch and Facebook and Instagram and Blue Sky and I kind of give up. Like I love the newsletter because I got like, almost 1,000 people who I got direct contact with. That I can go like, hey, isn't this cool? And they can say, yes, it is. Or they can say, leave me alone. Get out of my inbox. Whatever. It's just such a nice, much more, I don't know, it just feels better than, I also get more response from whatever is 900 and something people than I do from 100,000 or whatever it is on that Twitter garbage dump that it is now. Freaking dumpster fire.
I think a lot of people are using Linktree, just to, it's a single site where you have all your socials listed and then you just link that, I suppose. But honestly,
know, but then I go like, that's another platform.
Yeah, I never follow that through unless I'm really, really invested. I don't go, who's there? Like what is that?
DavidIHewlett.com. There you go. I mean, or in my case, TechBandits.com. It used to be DavidHewlett.com, but then some jerk. It dropped for like a second. They snapped it up. And then they're like, well, you can have it for $20,000. I'm like, no, I'm okay, thanks. Okay, Threads, you say? Is that that's the
one that Mark Zuckerberg released today.
I'm not buying another. No, I'm not going in another Zuckerberg.
Yeah. So I have only done it basically just to stake my name again, and yours should be okay because if you have an Instagram already, I believe your name is currently protected from your Instagram. Like it's the same username as Instagram.
Oh, really? But I got a lousy Instagram now. I think I'm like, well, Facebook, I'm Hewlett, David Hewlett, because I was goofing around at the time. I was like, Hewlett, David. I was trying to do my James Bond thing, and then of course I'm stuck with this name that's like it wouldn't fit on 5 business cards. The Twitter killer. The number of times I have heard about things being a Twitter killer.
So this has potential. I think it's 40 million users in 2 days, which is the best so far out of all the things. And again, it at least can scale, because the problem with Blue Sky and Mastodon, all these other things, was it's just like it's not 2007 anymore. I don't need to have an invite to come to a social media. Like I remember when I got my university account, you could then sign up for Facebook, because you had to have a university account to do it.
Right. Yeah, I was late to Facebook. I never understood. I just found Facebook. I found it incredibly unintuitive and badly designed, and it drove me crazy. And I thought, this is never going to catch on. So, yeah. So you're saying I should look up Threads as an app?
Yes.
And is it
again? I've turned it on. I followed 2 or 3 people who I recognized, and then just want to make sure someone doesn't take my name.
Wait a second. There's a million different things called Threads here. Well, 2. Threads, an Instagram app. Share ideas and trends with text. Is it that weird squiggly at symbol?
It's this weird squiggly, like a hair stuck in a black coffee.
Yeah, it does look like a hairball. Like that. It's like a Threads. Did I get it? All right. Now, so I'm going to install this, and now it's gonna track every one of my movements and own.
If you have Instagram, it's the same, I think.
Okay. Well, then why? Sorry. So he's launched a new service that's going to replace Instagram and Facebook, or that?
It's to replace
Twitter.
Twitter, right?
But so now you're going to have 3 apps to use Facebook, basically.
Mm-hmm.
See,
and your Oculus. You gotta have it for your Oculus too.
I got an account.
Exactly.
But only for Oculus. So
Exactly.
it's called like
same thing.
It's called like David's stupid Facebook account or something, like, or not even that. I think it's just called my Oculus Facebook stupidity or something. Like I literally put the word stupid in the name, because I was like, why do I have to log into your stupid network to use my $600 whatever the hell it was? Have you bought?
Especially the fact they said they wouldn't do that, but
oh, did they?
Yeah, when they first.
Wait a sec, Zuckerberg lied. Wait a sec, why am I downloading another Zuckerberg app?
This is how they get you. It's been a long play the entire time.
No, this is how you get me. They didn't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm working for Facebook. Nice,
very good, very good. It's not an ant horror; it's a Facebook horror. That's another thing that they have yet to get right for me. The best horror movie I've seen about social influencers is Sissy.
Yeah. I've not seen Sissy.
Sissy, and it was at the Fantasia Film Festival last year. Yeah, it's really fun, because
that would make a fun horror story of like social engineering as a horror, like trying to get you. Yeah, like I'm sure there's a Black Mirror about this, isn't there? Like where he's
wasn't there a I didn't see Bandersnatch, but apparently wasn't that some kind of interactive?
Yeah, maybe. I've not seen Bandersnatch either. I didn't have a smart device when it was on.
Yeah, for some reason I was like, you know what? I watched Captain something and the Soldiers from the Universe that had you had to buy guns and shoot them at the screen. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's too kludgy for me. I don't want to. I just want to watch a show when it comes to that. Yeah. I'm happy to play video games. You know, maybe not your $70 Diablo. Holy crap! $70.
70, and it's not even that good of a game.
I saw the trailer and it looks like fun, but I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. Like it looks like, I don't know. Why don't you play?
What
oh, sorry, no,
No. Sorry. I was just raging. The thing that annoyed me is I paid $70 for a game, and they still want me to pay for other parts of it.
Well, that's it. There's also like a subscription. I'm like, what? For $70 doesn't cover the freaking subscription? We got to start a whole other world. That's the problem. You know what we need to do is we need to get a rocket and we need to go to another planet and start a whole new system.
So the idea, as I said, was like, you know, Lance, the thing I wanted to do was when Lance's house burnt down by no fault of anyone here.
So when you burned his house down, yeah. When you burned his house down and stole his followers, yeah.
We were playing Diablo 2, and I specifically have not played it since that day. Because like, okay, I'll play it with Lance. We'll play again. Like,
Right.
It's going to be 2-3 months. He'll be back on no time, and a year and a half later, still haven't done it. So I was like, okay, if we're going to stream, let's play Diablo. And he's like, oh, we can play Diablo 4 because that'd be better for Twitch. More people want to watch Diablo 4. Then I was like, oh, okay, fine, sounds good. And then it's like $70. I was like, I said to him, $70.
Yeah.
He said $70. Like, oh, is it? I didn't know. I didn't buy it.
We need a horror movie about subscription services, said Trevaro. That's good.
Oh.
That's very good. That is a horror. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I don't know whether he's explained this to his family, but we had a chat ages ago about this, and he was saying like, he's like, I can't move. So being online is everything, is my real world. Like his real world is the online world because that's where he can actually interact and cause change and do stuff. He can be of use to people in battles against dragons and stuff. I was like, I wonder if his family understands that that if they don't have the time to set him up, that it's not just a matter. It's not just him. It's not it's entertainment for us.
Sure.
But for him, it's life. And it's a weird thing to suddenly realize, to go like, Baz, get off the games. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, oh, for God's sake, the games, it's just entertainment. Nothing that happens in that environment is as important as anything that's happening in the real world. But for Lance, it's almost the opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because because there's so little movement that he's got, that online experience is everything. So, anyways, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm sure, of course, his freaking family's lived with it forever, so they must understand that. But I was just surprised that there isn't, like, he doesn't have like a full-time tech support person that's like that's just there to keep him socially engaged online and stuff. So, I was funny. I was saying to Jane, I said, I feel like if there was something I would recommend to the healthcare industry as a whole, but maybe in Canada, it would be like, if you've got people with disabilities, then it's not just about making them comfortable. It's not just about giving them what they need to survive. There should be an IT department that can figure out how to customize technology so that they can use it. Because this is it's being left up to families, and not all of them have nerds like you and I. You know what I mean?
Remember when you helped with when you starred in that charity D&D show, Mercy Road, or was it 3-4 months ago?
Yeah.
For Child's Play charity. So part of their thing is they're like, hey, yeah, we can continue, and they do continue buying like game consoles and things for hospitals for kids who are terminally ill and helping their family and stuff. But they also, at the same time, pay for a technician who knows what to do, because the last thing you need is like, okay, we've bought $20,000 worth of Xboxes and we've given them to this hospital,
and then they just sit there because no one knows how to use them.
Exactly. So they have a full-time staff who like handles that, who comes in and helps the kids. Hey, what do you want to play? Do you want to do this today? Do you want to do that tomorrow? Like, and
but that should be part of the government services that are looking after people. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, I sorry, you know that, but you've heard of Special Effects, the charity out of England. Yeah, that is, to me, the perfect example of, like, that is the most perfect charitable organization, except that I find myself now, I guess, post-pandemic, where I feel like, hey, I think we should all be able to eat, we should all be educated and fed and sheltered and have our mental and health issues looked after at the base minimum of life. I feel like this should be, there should be, I mean, look, I'm the last person to suggest government involvement in just about anything because they just suck at just about everything. But I feel like this should be something that just should be standard for people. If you've got a disability, it immediately means that you require a customized solution. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, you're blind, here, just get this app for the phone. It doesn't work like that. It's, it's to what extent is your visual. Are you able to hear? Are you able to see? Are you able to feel and sense stuff? And how old are you? And how good are you with the technologies and stuff? They have to be tweaked for everyone. You know, it's like us Abes, as we call us, damn dirty Abes, us able people. You know, it would be like providing us with a gaming chair that you can't adjust, and going like, well, it's a chair. You wanted to
pay for.
Yeah, you paid for a chair. Like, you want to adjust it. That's your problem. That's a luxury. That's like the 20% you need to do to make it functional. It's it's a new thing that's been sort of whirling around my head. Should I be trying to approach governments about this stuff? Should I be approaching politicians and saying like, hey, you've got these kids, you're providing them with stuff, and then and it's even worse in a way. It's like saying, yeah, there's an Xbox there. There's nobody here who can set it up so you can use it. Like, that's almost worse than not having it. It's like, yeah, it's right there. All you have to do is reach out and, you can't. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
I remember when I was a kid getting my braces, and there was a Nintendo in the orthodontics office, and it was basically locked. Like, no one was allowed to use it. I was like, can we not play on that? Like, no.
What was the point of it?
Why is it out in the waiting room? Like, why
was
would
that
you
just to show the parents how cool you were? Like, is that? Yeah.
Why have a NES if I can't play it?
That is weird. Well, there's also a tendency I find for, like, I brought, when I went to McCordick, I brought a bunch of little cameras and stuff to play with, and I would give them to the kids to play with, and the adults would get very nervous about it. They're like, oh, what if they drop it or they break it? Or I'm like, what if they do? Like, so they break it. They learn something. Don't break it. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like I said, there's just no, I felt like as soon as if you make these things too precious, you'll never use them. It's like my father-in-law always used to talk about, like, you know, oh, can't wear that. That's for best. And it's like, well, if you never wear it, it's not for best or anything. When he passed away, I hate passed away. It sounds like it sounds like a bowel movement. When he died, in his sleep, very happily, he left behind like literally hundreds of these shirts in the original plastic wrapping that he'd saved for best, and never wore them. You know,
never got around to it.
Yeah, so it's.
Like,
I guess we're all going that way. I'm sure.
We have the shoes I got married in. I had to go and buy some shoes. I went to John Lewis.
Oh yeah,
and, not John Lewis. Marks and Spencer.
Hey, M&S. I love M&S. All of my underwear
like,
for years was M&S. In fact, I think I'm still wearing them.
They were like £25, and my wife is very precious of it. Like, oh, you can't wear those. Those are shoes you get married in. I was like, they were nice shoes for the day, but they're actually quite comfortable. They look good, and they weren't ridiculously expensive. I should just wear them.
Well, I've never understood that with wedding dresses. I was like, why don't you just buy like a really nice dress that you can wear more than once in your life?
Yeah. That used to be the way.
Yeah.
Up until like early 1900s, wedding dresses were not a thing. Our concept of marriage is very, not the idea of being married, but the concept of a marriage ceremony is very recent.
I can't keep track because I've got so many damn married. We got married in Hawaii when she was pregnant. Then we got married again in Warwick. Sure, when actually Warwick, it was Warwick Castle. You know, so I can never keep track of. I think I have another one coming up at some point. I should probably find out when that is.
To Jane again?
Yeah. Oh, I don't celebrate the other ones. No. The other ones, no. Not pretty. Hawaii, my honeymoon was there. Hawaii, what a beautiful place. I think that's where Hacksmith was just hanging out.
Yeah.
He was just hanging out in there. I'm supposed to be gone. What am I doing? Oh my God, it's 3 hours. No, I can't leave now. I got to wait till 3 hours.
You got to wait a minute and a half.
That's it. I'm waiting for a minute and a half for sure. All right. So in that minute and a half.
When are you going to start filming your horror film?
Well, I think the hope is that we're actually going to shoot a little test, maybe a VHS movie, maybe now that I've seen that stuff online. While we're at the cottage this summer.
Oh, nice.
So it wouldn't be a movie. It would just be like a few little shots and stuff. And she said, "Can you borrow a drone?" And I was like, "Yes, I can borrow a drone. I can borrow it from Amazon, and then if we don't like it, we can send it back." Because I wouldn't buy a drone that I have to pilot particularly. Like, I really feel like the best way to use a drone now is to set it where you want it to go and have it go there.
Did you see the Corridor Crew drone stabilized
Ooh.
footage?
Yeah.
The
Oh my
it was
God.
amazing.
It's not only that, it's like well, in my email of awesomeness this week, I talk about these. They're doing drone racing now.
Mhm.
So you've got the first person, where you put on the goggles and then you race with these things on,
yeah.
which just sounds like a barf fest for me. Like I would just be puking everywhere. But they now have like giant, basically human-sized ones where you could technically you could sit in them and you could do like pod racing only for real.
Yeah.
In these little eVTOLs. That just sounds like I keep thinking like sports is the only thing that anyone's interested in anymore because that's the only thing that makes money. Like they all want to sell their TV. Like Apple TV has gone from making multi-billion-dollar shows with Jason Momoa to buying football teams.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're going, wait a second. Movies people watch once and then they don't watch them again. Soccer, we could sell them a subscription and they're here every week.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm constantly looking for new sports. Like in Canada, soccer is not terribly popular yet. It's popular, but it's not nowhere near that European level of obsession or British level of obsession. But Baz is obsessed. We're now watching documentaries on Arsenal and stuff. So, but he's an Arsenal fan apparently. So I keep looking for new sports that like esports or whatever that could be a fun thing to get into at the ground level. And I think the one to get into is this drone racing, because you could buy a team for like not a lot of money now, right? Because it's all just electric drone stuff. Just think about it. You could have, Phage and Hewlett on the side of a, U of Georgia Phage lab and Hewlett's basement, and then that would be our, and our drone would probably do a lot of crashing because we'd be.
We need to get the Marlboro back on there.
Oh yeah, if you can get cigarettes,
get the cigarettes back on
cigarettes and vapes, we could be selling. Every cannabis company in the world's going to have a car.
That's what Eggleston made his money.
Was really?
Yeah, that's what Formula One made like most of their money to begin with.
Right, because
the sponsorships. Yeah.
It was the Du Maurier. It was the Du Maurier Grand Prix here every year, and then they made a rule that says you're not allowed to have cigarette, which again I am totally fine with. Just to be very clear, I think they're a bunch of scumbags. And the next thing we're going to discover, by the way, is that plastic companies are exactly the same, because it seems that like they're finding it everywhere now. When I cut, because here we have milk that we have what we call homo milk, and we also have milk that arrives in bags. So homogenized milk is homo milk, and then we have these bags. You have to cut the little end off to pour. Every time I do it, I can almost hear little plastic particles go into my tea. Like I'm obsessed with it now. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like turning to Candy Medusa about this stuff. I'm like, we've got this plastic in everything. I don't know what to do. She's much.
I haven't seen Candy in a while.
No, I know. I actually sent her a message the other day and said like, hey Candy, I want to send you a coin. A coin. Where are you? Because it's my way of connecting to everyone now. It's just like, I got coins. Be my friend. I buy my friendship. I'm going to buy my friendships. That's how I'm going to do it. All right. So I got to go.
The other thing, one last thing.
No, one more thing. Yes. Yep.
Other one thing to liberate from Amazon. Speaking of DJI, because of the drones.
Oh, yeah.
The DJI wireless microphones. I have a pair of the Rode Wireless Go 2s.
Yeah.
They're very good. I really like them.
Okay.
I was using them in the lab to stream and stuff. I've used them on my camera.
I've got to watch yours. I don't know why I don't get. You know why? Because I turned off all notifications. Yeah, that's probably it. There you go.
That'll be why.
What do they call the Rode Wireless? You like those? The Wireless Go 2s?
So I've got a set of Wireless Go 2s, which
let me guess. Was that something that was required for your Phage lab and University of Georgia paid for you?
I paid for it, unfortunately.
What? What are you doing?
They were like $200. They were on discount at one point.
Okay, all right.
But the DJI wireless ones are apparently slightly better. They have, so if you're looking for some wireless microphones for getting shots like this, again.
E-bike. E-bike. We have to talk about e-bikes.
Oh yes,
that's what I need. Okay, wait a second. So first off, it's the DJI
wireless
microphone. Oh, look at them. They come in a little kit and everything.
That's why they're better. So my Road doesn't really have a kit. I bought.
Yeah,
a
they're also
case for it.
$500 Canadian.
They are $329 US. I don't know what the conversion is.
It's like 1,000 to 1. Canada sucks. Wow, those are chunky little things. They look good.
I get the Corridor crew using them. They use those and the Road 2s. That's why I was like, I'm looking.
Well, and that Ronin camera that they've got, that extraordinary sort of like, it looks like a Boston Dynamics Spot dog with a camera. It's extraordinary. Yeah, amazing looking thing. All right.
But yeah, those things work really well. I am buying myself an Averton e-bike.
Oh, an Averton. Yeah.
My old boss has one. My buddy has one. The other postdoc in the lab has one. They all really like them. I'm probably going to go for the Averton Level 2. Yes, Level 2, which is like a commuter bike. So my boss has the Level 1, which unfortunately they don't make anymore.
I would want the Adventure, but just because it's got the big, thick, I love those big, chunky tires.
Yeah, so I think that could work well. The other one to consider is the Adventure's slightly more expensive, right? Yeah, it's like
$2,500.
Yeah,
so that's not bad. If you like, it's cheaper than a vehicle.
Yeah. And everyone I've spoken to has one of these. They said they like them.
Okay.
And again, we've had a fair few people who've bought those. The other one is the one that Barnacules tested. He knows the people from Rad Bikes. Let me just check. Rad City Bikes.
Oh, Rad Power Bikes?
Yeah. So he got
Oh, I like the look of those too. Really?
Yes. So the Rad Power Bikes. He had at least 4 years ago. He was given a couple to test out, and he ended up buying one, I believe. So he obviously I don't think he uses it anymore because of his back. But
oh shit! Oh right, of course. God, what's he gonna do about that? He's too freaking young to be stuck.
I mean, he's only like a couple years older than I am, and literally a couple of years older. And I just can't imagine being in that position.
No, neither can I. It's extraordinary. I keep having to remind myself how damn lucky I am. Even at my lowest, I have to sort of go, Jesus, I am one fortune. I have got some serious horseshoes wedged up somewhere. Actually, I don't, because they looked and there's nothing up there. So,
the tortuous colon.
My torturous colon. You'd never get any lucky horseshoes up there, my friend. The Rad bikes. Okay. All right.
A guy I do some woodworking with, he has a Rad City bike. I think the Rad Runner or Rad Runner 3 might be the one.
Which sounds like I just want to start singing that. Rad Runner.
But that one looks less like a normal bike. It looks like one of those small foldable bikes. And
it's not a pretty design.
No.
It's a very utilitarian looking one. Is there any point in having a folding one? I feel like there's not.
I wouldn't for you. If you like commuting through like a metro system and then riding for another 5 miles and having to do that, maybe. But if you're doing this to replace taking the metro,
it's an interesting point though. Like, do you want, like, you could hop on the subway, and although anywhere on the subway is also about as easy on the bike, right? Like, I mean, it's basically straight shots in either direction. We don't have a particularly expansive subway system up here, but the biggest thing, not the biggest thing, but one of the things that's important to me is shocks. Because I was on my dad lent me, when my bike got stolen, he lent me his old one because my dad's all fancy and has like a fancy bike. He's got an e-bike that he loves. I can't remember what the brand is, but I don't trust my father's taste in tech. But I mean, I don't know why. I probably should. If he's had it for a while and loves it, then that's probably a good sign. But I was riding his old bike, and this without shocks in this city, it is like someone is just hits you in the butt with a sledgehammer every so often. Like, it's just really uncomfortable. So I would definitely want. I also like the idea of the big tires because of that as well. It gives you a little bit more, more cushioning.
So the Averton level 2 does have. It doesn't obviously compared to the Adventurer. It's not quite. Those are gigantic, chunky tires. The level 2 has like full size 700C tires. I think they're 34s or something. So they are. I plan to buy one to ride in Atlanta, and the roads here are worse than like Damascus after like a bombing. I don't know. It's
Really?
The roads are part of the Atlanta roads is just shocking.
What's the deal? Is it not? They have state income tax and stuff, right? It's not like Washington where they just didn't have.
They've got tax. They just, if you go outside Atlanta, the roads are beautiful because it's Republican government, and they take the money from the place that makes the money and give nice roads everywhere else.
Right. Hey, isn't that a great system?
Isn't that nice?
What a wonderful system. I'm sure no one will be missing out on that one. So you like which one was it called? The level 2?
I like the level 2. My boss has my old boss, I should say, has.
It's almost like a cafe racer look to it.
Yeah.
That is nice. That is a 25. That's a more expensive. Oh no, it's not. It's a 25.
I think it's cheaper.
It's $200 cheaper than the than the Aventon that I can see. I was hoping there'd be like a refurbished one that I could get for cheaper or something. Yeah. But
the other company, if it's available in Canada, is 700 Up e-bikes. They were the other ones I was looking at. Ride One Up, sorry, not 700. Ride One Up. It's the 700 is the name of the bike.
Ride One Up 700. Okay.
Yeah, they are typically cheaper than the Avatons, and people typically like what I've seen on reviews online, like, oh, they're roughly the same.
Oh wow!
If you like this, you like that.
They're a lot cheaper.
But it's I don't know anyone who has one. I just know from reviews people compare those two. I only know people who have Avatons, so like I've only ever ridden an Avaton.
I have heard good things about the Avatons. I think they were on like Wired's list of ones that they like. We should start an e-bike channel, and people could just send us e-bikes to try out. I want one that I can ride in the winter without being killed.
Yeah. So my boss has ridden his Avatton in Atlanta winter, which is, we get down to -5, -10 sometimes.
Oh, do you get snow and stuff?
Yeah. Atlanta's full seasons.
What? I just thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was more,
temperate.
Yeah, without temperate, just hot and sweaty. Every movie I saw, it looked sweaty.
Yeah, it doesn't get cold for long, but like there's 2 or 3 weeks when it's typically below 0. And then we have a really nice long spring and a really nice long fall. And currently it's the hottest it's ever been.
Well, because we just had the hottest day the planet's ever. Like how? Yeah. Like, I am sucking on my inhaler like it's a scuba gear. Like I have not had this much difficulty breathing since I was rushed to hospital as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I give money to sick kids, because they literally saved my life. And I all of a sudden I'm back on my inhaler like it's nobody's business. It's actually a little. I get a little panicky because I'm like, why? I've done this twice and I'm still. You know what I mean? So I should stop faking it too, because that always sets me off. Whenever I pretend to have an asthma attack, it always brings on an asthma. It brings on an asthma. I can't imagine it's got anything to do with my brain.
Do you think that's the forest fires implying a little bit, or just? General...
I think it's humidity's. The weird thing about living in Toronto is that in LA I didn't have a lot of problems with allergies. Okay. I had like sometimes in the spring there'd be like some kind of weird, desert flower that set me off, but never wheezing badly. Here, once it hits like -20, I find it difficult to breathe. Like my lungs just don't like it. And then the same thing on the other way around. You get into this like 30, 40 Humidex thing, and it's like, what is it? Like yesterday it was like 31 but 40 with the Humidex or something. And that's when I just I can't. I took the dog for a good long walk today just because it was slightly better today. But yesterday I couldn't even go out. I was like, I was out of breath just walking just to get my friend to buy me breakfast. Yeah, we would go to the local diner, and he finally got this job that he did an ages ago, but there was all sorts of weirdly stuff with producer people. I'm married to a producer, and all I do is complain about producers. But there's just a lot of shady producers in this business, and one of them has made his life a little difficult. Anyway, so there was some conflict over who wrote the script. So he wrote a script, and then all of a sudden there's a producer's name on it as well, and And as it turns out, the producer did do some writing, but and the union decided that it was to be split equally. So, but he went from a full movie paid writer to a half a movie paid writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's waited like 2 years for the settlement or whatever.
Ah.
Anyway, so he finally got this money, and he said, "I'm buying lunch." And I said, "Breakfast." And I was like, sign me up." So I went and ordered the most expensive breakfast I could find. I was like, I'll take the diner special, and you know what? Get rid of that flimsy old normal bacon. You put some pea-meal bacon on that. And then, and every time they came back with coffee, I said, "I just want to make sure that you charge me for that refill." So, because I figure I can make him. No, the guy. We know the guy so well there that he was like, oh, you funny kids. Of course, we're older than he is, but that's beside the point. All right, I got to get out of here.
Okay.
James, this has been a pleasure as always. Actually, not as always, because we don't often get to talk like this, but it's great. If you let me know when you're streaming, and then I can sort of let people know. Or I'm not sure I'm up for paying $70 to join your Diablo adventure.
No, that's fine.
I might let you burn the house down on your own on that one.
You can watch along and comment in the background.
But I think we're going to go back to Magic the Gathering for a bit.
That should be fun. I think again, you guys had fun with that. It just, just play it for fun and not with. Don't get sucked into buying the cards.
Well, that's the problem. Anyways, he sent me Lance, who I'll just call my chief researcher, sent me a whole article on the different forms of gameplay that you can do. So I'm kind of looking forward to sort of jumping back in. We're going to try something like a pauper deck or something. There's these pauper decks where you just use the cheapest cards that you could. I don't think you're allowed to use legendaries or whatever it is. So, but yeah, that's kind of it could be kind of fun. I've got such a hate on for Hasbro. I just think they've ruined it. I just think they're making these crappy Lord of the Rings ripoff things and One Ring cards, and that's not what it's about. It's like I feel like they're pandering to these like crypto bro card traders. You know what I mean? Instead of the nerds who just want to have cool cards. And yes, sure, it'd be nice to have one that's worth some money, but this speculative. I'm pissed off about speculative cards and speculative comic books. And I'm literally thinking about taking all of my comic books and just saying like, come to the garage and read any of the comic books you want, as long as they don't leave the garage. Come and look at all the, like, set up a little cafe or something where people just come in and just read comic books, because that's what they're meant for. They're not meant to be handled with white gloves and never opened. Don't break the cover. Don't break the cover. Just read the thing. Anyways,
it's not art unless you use it. I just remember, like, when we were talking about the NFT stuff. My opinion was always like, I don't see the value in having this as a technology one of the things you were suggesting was video games. You could use NFTs to trade unique items, and our response is still, if they want you to have that mechanic, they'll work it out in their in-market system. They don't want you to control that market. And
no, that's the problem. I mean, I guess that's my frustration. Was I see people spending a fortune in in-game things, and then as soon as that game goes, or you don't upgrade, or you don't subscribe, or whatever, you lose those things. And I also I feel like there is a value to it, and the idea of, like, imagine how much more things that they would sell in game if you knew that you could get that like, I mean, they're missing out on. Someone should put it in their Roblox games, because in Roblox, my kid's online at like 4 a.m. on a Saturday, waiting for something to drop that's going to give him some superpowers in some silly Roblox anime game that's breaking every copyright known to man. You know what I mean? Like, it's fascinating. There's a whole economy going on there that's just really, really interesting to me. But yeah, the crypto thing is, again, I never really thought of it as a big money making thing. I was just curious I loved the idea of unique digital items. There's something kind of science fiction-y cool about that. And then it just went all crypto bro and stuff. But it's one of the reasons why I wanted to put a code on my coins.
On the coin.
Because I just thought, like, then, I don't know, in 10 years time I could just go like, oh, we're having a get together of everyone who owns a coin. or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and maybe there is a way we could tie that to a blockchain in some way, not from a speculative standpoint, but from a hey, here's a little ledger of all of our friends who are a member of this little group. But it's
the speculative nature of especially kids' interactions with the internet is terrifying to me. It may be something you should like talk to like a professional at some point about with Tech Bandit stuff in terms of
this get rich.
What is happening? Like, everything is like, I can make this money, I can do this, I can do that.
Well,
it's all hustle culture.
It's hustle culture. It's also YouTube videos, right? Like it's an easy sell. What do they say? It's like, I can't do it, so I'm going to teach you how to. Like it's like absolutely hustle culture, like Hustle University and stuff. But the weird thing is that while that, I think there's a certain value to that to some extent, because like I look at my son now, who's got like a full-time job this summer working for the government, which is in itself just hilarious to watch him figure this stuff out. He's like, well, wait a sec. He goes, Dad, you're not going to believe this. So I had to phone them about this. Then I had to fill out this form. And then they sent me an email. And then they sent me a letter of the email in the mail. Yeah. Like, why would they do that? I was like, Baz, you are working for the government. That is why. I said, anytime now they're going to ask you what your fax number is. I
had to fax something to the government, to the army 3 weeks ago. Like, oh, just fax it. It's like, I don't have a fax machine.
To the army? That's a story unto itself. Are you? Do they want your phages for bad things?
No, they wanted me to review some grants, and they wanted to pay me for reviewing some grants.
What do you mean? How would that work?
So I reviewed for the Army subcontracts research grant review processes out, so they get experts like myself, thank you, to review the federal funding grants. What they're going to, they have $10 million that they're going to divvy out into so many pots. They ask us to review the project and say, are these projects worthy of getting money or not?
And you say no, but I'll do one like that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately I can't because I'm not in the goddamn army.
Oh, right.
I was like, these grants are terrible.
I'm gonna say that's probably a good thing, James. But at the same time, that's interesting. So I guess it makes sense. They may not have that expertise. They obviously don't have that expertise. So they need someone who's going to be able to go like, no, that's actually legit. They're not messing with you. Those phages really can do that.
That's a real thing, or it isn't a real thing. Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I'd get a grant. I got a brilliant idea. It's fantastic. All right, James.
Yes, we go.
Thank you much. 3 hours and 22 minutes. That's insane. All right, we'll talk soon. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. My phone, for some reason, I think oh my God, I think my headphones are running out of juice. That's what's happening. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm going to be really cheesy here and say, if you want to buy a coin, please do. Also, people have been very, very kind recently. There's been a few new Patreon members and stuff, and it's fantastic. And especially right now, it would be very nice because it relieves some of the strike-related pressure that's going on right now around our house. But it's okay because we're going to make our own movie, and James and I are going to have like a whole pod racing thing that we're going to get into as well. So
we'll swap. You'll come work in my lab. I need a technician.
There you go. Perfect. That's it. The weird thing is, one of the things I as a kind of a almost like an entertainment thing now, I read what's it called? ZipRecruiter and Indeed.com just to see. I was like, oh, imagine if I'd learned how to, do math. I could do this or that, or like, it's just kind of fun to see what's out there. And then every so often something comes up and you go like, oh, I could, what if I was a film and TV teacher for kids in a school up in Northern Ontario? And then Jane says, well, you'd be in Northern Ontario. And I realize it's not definitely a good idea. Wait, Cal, hold on, people. He'll probably ramble for another 30 minutes. Thanks, Cal. That's another coin. I could not convince. It was like I was a stalker or something. She's like, no, you're not going to give me money. And not even that.
Crossing a boundary.
I've crossed a boundary apparently. Yeah. And then I'm like, it needs a phone number for delivery. That was it. I was like, look, whatever super spy, you know, what's her name? Atomic Blonde or whatever Cal's secret mission is. Anyways. All right. Thank you to everyone. Even to you, Cal. Even Cal, I'm going to say thank you to today. Cal,
that's a great idea, Catherine.
What?
Send her a fake letter. So a letter that says this is a fake coin.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So it's a knockoff coin, and I'll just put her phone number in it. I'll put her phone number as the number on the coin. That's perfect. So Cal, I hope you don't mind. I'll just have my little. By the way, you would laugh your ass off when you see the etching of some of these numbers, because my little prover was not designed to do metal.
Yeah.
Never designed to do metal. I'm popping. This is like metal bits flying everywhere, and I'm like, oh, went a little deep on that one. So they are truly original. They're original, and you may want to get some sandpaper on some of them, but it's fun. It really is fun. So, and James Gurney is banned. Look at that. Cal just banned James Gurney. That's it. You could send her a phage or a virus. There you go. Cal, you're gonna miss us when we're gone. You're gonna miss us. You know, when we finally give up on this whole YouTube thing and become big pod racing stars, and we'll be too big for you, and you're gonna miss us. You wait. When's Cal gonna start streaming again? You know, she used to stream.
I do. She used to stream. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she'd be amazing. Like, how I would watch that Grumpy Cal show like all the time. I would be her, like, I could be like her morning co-host. The one who goes like, yes, it's true. Like, just that's in the background. I would totally do that. She meant a fake phone number. Oh, she probably sent me a fake phone number. That's true. Yeah, if she's a real spy, she probably sent me a fake phone number. Should I try calling it? I'll call it live next time I'm on the stream.
Oh gosh.
I'll put the number up on the screen and just call her.
Yeah.
This is why she wouldn't give me any information. You know that.
Exactly.
I realize I'm literally a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that I'm like, what is Cal's problem? Like, she doesn't want to share the address that's, yeah, exactly. I don't think
there'd be anywhere worth hiding.
Yeah.
If you did that to her, if you
She'd
leaked her information,
she'd hunt me down.
You wouldn't be safe anyway.
If I doxed Cal, I would be as good as, there'd be like, you know, remember that black mirror with the robot dog? Yeah, that'd be Cal. Cal would be the robot dog. Hunting me down. Relentlessly. Yeah. All right, everyone, send Cal lots of love, because she's the best, especially when she doesn't answer back. And James, thank you again, as always. James, where can people find you? They're gonna go Twitch. Check you out.
Yeah, you can find me. I've been streaming a little bit more recently. I typically stream on Friday afternoons if I have time, showing people doing some data analysis stuff in genomics.
What's like you're doing data seriously?
Yeah, the last couple times I've been doing some data analytics. Last stream I actually made a short little video about how antibiotics kill bacteria.
Oh.
So I spent 3 hours trying to animate a video.
What? That you showed people you trying to animate the video?
Yeah.
So you just go live and we're working while you talk type thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know that I'd be capable of doing that because of I don't think I've got the multitasking skills.
The ADHD, you mean?
Well, maybe that could be that. So this is, sorry, as always, I've got another thing to distract me. But remember we were talking about those vases or whatever people call them, that if you break them and then you glue them back together with golden glue,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, what's it called?
Kama something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So it's a Japanese thing. I was just fascinated by it. I thought it'd be what a great thing I could do on the stream. At the same time, I was painting these circular potted plant things that I'd been given, which was very sweet of my sister to give them to me. They're the ugliest things I've ever seen. So I was spray painting them very carefully. I was on my third coat, and they were looking really, really beautiful. And then I left them out overnight during the storm that took down our tree. And it also took down my planters as well. So my planters are now in many pieces in a little bucket. And I thought, hey, maybe that could be my first project. And then I was I glue my fingers together without streaming. I can't imagine what it would be like trying to do that streaming. But at some point, I'd like to try doing that. I would, because
your videos or your streams where you made the computer though, it's the same sort of thing. People like watching people who are good at a craft do it.
Well, then they're not going to find that here, but they'll find. I think people also like watching like previously famous TV stars get themselves stuck to cabinets and things. Hey, I got it! I got the pot. I just have to carry it all the time now because it's glued to my fingers. Kintsugi, says Rob 343429. See, Cal. Some people have their phone numbers in their names. 343429. Okay. All right. I'm really gone. Oh yes.
This time.
Wait a sec, James. Have you got put your channel in?
Someone else for Twitch. I put it in. I think there's also a command somewhere, isn't there?
I think there is.
Is it Gurney or is it?
Gurney? It's something about like Gurney rules the world.
Yes,
Gurney. Yeah, think of my name is James Gurney, and I burned down the house of my good friend Gimpy G so I could steal all the viewers from his stream. I will now shamelessly self-advertise. I love that. James, you got to get your own channel. Oh yes, he's got his own channel. So check him out. Are you going to stream tomorrow?
Potentially. I'll see if I have time in the afternoon. I've got some work to do in the morning. I've got to interview someone for a job, and then if I have time.
Are you still filling positions there?
Oh yeah.
How but is this a new round or something? Because you had.
This is a new person. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you've lost someone already? Boy, you're.
No.
That's not good. Yeah. Did they die or did you just get rid of them? Like what was it?
Yeah, it's a dangerous profession.
It's very difficult. Yeah. Don't open that. Oh, sorry. Okay. We're looking for a new person now. It's like that Kurzgesagt video. Maybe that's what inspired it.
That's it.
Oh, James lost another one. We should really do a video about this.
We should. This is important.
This is important stuff. James has lost two interns already. What's the new position? Anything?
Postdoc. So someone who has a PhD who basically will do some semi-independent research and stuff that I want them to do.
Huh.
So what I was doing until about 6 months ago. Oh, almost a year now. Christ.
But how do you get to pick the stuff? Like, do you still get to do the fun stuff?
Less and less.
See, that's the problem with all jobs, isn't it? The better you get at something, the less they want you to do it.
Yeah.
I found that as soon as you started, I worked at a voicemail company and I loved it. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you're really good at that. Let's move you into a position where you have to tell other people how to do it." And you're like, "What? No, I hate people. I like computers." All right, I'm gone. This is me wrapping up. See, God damn it, Cal was right. It did take another half an hour. It's 3:32. 3 hours and 32 minutes. No wonder. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. All right. This has been way too much fun. I should just go live all the time. Just have James in my ear. James in one ear, Lance in another, Vibe Pup vibing in and out, and then, of course, Cal just complaining about us on the chat. All right. Till we geek again, everybody. Be safe, be kind, be brilliant. And go check out James Gurney tomorrow for his stream if he's got time. Cheerio. Bye. Ending stream now. Bye.